One second.
What kind of vibe are you on this morning?
The license plate in front of me is me 69 her. I thought that was pretty creative. You would enjoy it.
How did that get approved?
Because it's just, I don't know. It's just HER or HR for her. It's like ME69HR.
You guys fucking computers? What are you guys talking about?
The license plate in front of me.
Oh, thought you were talking in code or something.
You know,
765.
All right. We're live everywhere now. I heard somebody say my name. What were y'all talking about?
We were saying nice things for you because you were saying goodbye.
Oh. Okay.
Like that song.
Oh. Man, the market's not out of its range. I could go right back to fucking bed right now. Although I think we might be able to break out of this morning, so.
Damn, I said the same thing. We're in range still.
Mhm.
it's quite the little dumpy though, huh?
Yeah,
But what's up
overnight.
with this music?
What's wrong with the music? Damn.
I feel like I'm on your father-in-law's form.
Nah, man. I like every kind of music. You got to go through the motions with me.
Wait, you were about to say something there? Or what was your opinion on the little dumpy?
Was my opinion on the dumper. Uh, I mean, it was cool, obviously, but we didn't lose anything. Period. You know, I zoom out on the 2 hour. I mean, it helps, I guess, in some ways, but also with the gap up above and the empty space in here. You know, we're one news article away from ripping back up or whatever. So I mean, at this point, yeah, it's
The
I
impulse
just
in me just wants to bounce it.
I think
Potter,
there's
did you look at NQ? It's more clear on direction wise.
yeah, I looked at it last night.
This morning it's like because the overnight move is kind of showing a good setup.
Yeah. Yeah, it's clear. 4 times now at this 124.8 floor. You didn't fully wick or hit this to the downside. Yeah, I mean, this is, as far as contraction leading to expansion, this is a good start. And it does have, like, again, enough compression in here to, send it. But my question is that today?
If you go to lower time frame, like 15-minute,
It's pretty clear.
that high needs to break right where that cost basis is that you just drew.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, you need to what's my bias today? We're in range. I could go back to bed right now. The only reason I'm here is to manage some positions that I swung overnight or over the weekend, and to see for myself what the fuck is about to happen. So, um, as far as levels being lost or levels being reclaimed, like we lost some lower time frame levels, and on the cues, it is a little bit clear. Maybe 30-minute, 15-minute time frame. Like if we move through the structure up above us, or even just get our gap fill, it could lead to a 1-2-3 break. You got empty space up to 614. So I mean, it's potentially in the cards to go and reach up there. But and this gap down could be what sponsored that move. But I digress. There's not really much other than anticipating a break. That's it. So mark out the highs and the lows in this range. But yeah, today I would say right now with the gap up above, I think we can catch a bounce for sure. But as far as continuation, we shall see. But yeah, these are the days where I'm like, yeah, I'd rather do something else. But let's walk across this market here this morning, and let's see if we can find anything at all. There we go. There we go. All right, so starting with the Qs, or well, finishing, I guess, if you will, finishing with the Qs here. So as we were just discussing, and there's a couple of key levels here on the 30-minute time frame. Again, on the higher time frame, we've opened up in range, but of course, 606.50, right? Same sell level that we dropped underneath. We did lose that. And then underneath us, we're looking at a 603.61, just if we end up falling. And pulling back. And these are just, again, areas of potential containment. If you already have a short, obviously, or if you are short, anything back up above 606.50, and you run the risk of going for your gap fill, which would make sense, which would obviously lead to the 610 resistance. And yes, a potential to try to go and fill empty space into the 614s. And that is your upside trajectory. Now, I found it really interesting that overnight, right, or when offered the opportunity again to go and reclaim that floor, sellers stepped right back up again. Um, so obviously we can think or anticipate these things, but until they actually do happen, we're in range, we're above where we need to break down, and we're below where we need to break up. It's just that simple for me. So I'm personally taking a low risk, probably just sitting on my hands until we get a break of this range. Again, I don't want to try to scrape pennies together inside of a small fucking box when I can make a bag playing outside of it, which is, again, what I discussed last night. So will you set up a game of Jenga on Jay Diamond's head on a live? I would love to do that, yeah. Yeah, that would be a top 10 experience. All right, so let's take a look at IWM, which did have a, if you look at RTY or futures last night, yeah, this one did pull back off of that same overhead resistance, the 2688. And as far as IWM is concerned, right, it's still that overhead here at 266. And yeah, there is more of a short bias in here, but you are, in fact, in range again. And in order for us to fall, we need to lose 262, target 259. That one, obviously might be able to front run the market. So we'll keep an eye on IWM today. 260, excuse me. Yeah, but anyway, there is a potential short underneath that 262. You do have a box right here. So lower time frame traders, right? You got to move through this box. That is your signal to go for the gap. So I do like IWM a lot. We need that breakdown. So what I'd like to see here this morning is a quick tap down to 262, gap fill, and then a failed wick, right? Or some sort of rejection overhead. But the long and short of this is we're looking underneath 262. When that occurs, we are expecting a bigger move out of this rejection. And so if a position is taken from me, 257 and 255, on that break are going to be where I'm looking to take that trade down. So, ooh, I need one second.
Hey Potter, can I ask a question while you're not doing analysis real quick?
Yeah, what's up?
So on these gaps down, right? What or gap up, whatever. What kind of qualifies it for like a gap and go compared to like a gap and reverse?
Right.
Like how
So,
do you you just
yeah.
going by like basically the range it's in?
Well, I have those rules, in the workshop. Those are all as far as gap target or gap expectancy, right? We have, the first rule is that if you gap down underneath a floor, you're going to reach whatever low is underneath you. So that is a gap down. If you gap down, you'll flush. If you have gap down underneath a floor, if you've gapped out of resistance, right? That is typically an immediate. So, like, let's say we gapped over 265.74, you're going straight to 267. It's whatever overhead is resistance is outside of that area of containment that you would be targeting first on that gap. Um, if you gap up, like let's say we were down here and we bounced and we closed at the floor. If you gap up above cost basis, the first target is whatever's outside of that box because you've just executed an overnight punchback. Um, those are the rules as far as, when you gapped out of, I guess if we were to gap down below 262, the first target would be the top of the box at 260.89 and 259.80. So whenever you look at whatever box has been gapped out of or pressure has been gapped out of, it's if you're outside of that containment, then you're looking at whatever target is beyond that. Whatever your first target would have been, regardless, would be your first target in pre-market or at the bell. So, thanks for the
You
follows,
wouldn't
guys.
qualify this as gap to resistance,
No,
or would you?
no, not at all. This. If anything, this would be a gap down to support, which just says bounce, which you've already done. Um, yeah. So no, this isn't a gap. There is a sell wall, right here, but you're still inside of range, right? And so it would be a gap out of something that we can clearly see as support and resistance that would at least allow for price to fly without retesting something or chopping at pre-market. So if you're ever and these rules, guys, honestly work really well as far as, and especially in a trending market, which we're not necessarily in. These gaps and gap overs, resistance, those are straightforward, and it's a really good rule set to have memorized, because that's where you get those major breaks of tension. So
Thank you, bud. I just was trying to get a little bit more. I actually do love those gap and resistance and support rules. They actually are like clockwork.
yeah, yep. Did I already do? So I'm watching IWM, but I'm gonna be, for everybody who's just hopping on here for TikTok and YouTube, when we open up in range, I'm in a read and react scenario, and I'm not looking to take any sort of major position until I see something on the lower time frame that will give me a potential break, right? And right now, we need a loss of this 262, but I will warn everybody in here, you don't have empty space on either side of IWM immediately. So expiration might be really helpful this week. Just an extra week or something of that nature would probably do people a great deal of good. Um,
Yeah, and it's important, right, Potter, to make sure it's a candle close, right?
yeah, yes, of course. I mean, we from the 2 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, the level pretty much stays the same. So you could justify a 15 minute, but it does, and it's not to say that you can't. If we go like, again, one of the things that you can remember is usually the first impulsive move that the market makes at the bell will be reversed. So if you go in gap fill first, I would be looking at a rejection at 265.61. Um, and if we pull back down, right, and this is where you can kind of make a plan. So if you pop out, right, of 264 or pop above that, if you lose that level, you could try and start a short there. So that way you're at a high, shorting the floor. I've made this clear. It always makes me nervous. And for good reason, because that's where buyers are. And so I want to kind of, if I can, grab a short where sellers control the price or where sellers grab hold of the price, because that would give me their average. So IWM is Bay, but not today. You are absolutely right, Principal Patterson. It's not Bay today. Putting that one on the back burner. All right. And I will say this, you know, IWM has, I mean, as far as formidable overhead resistance, I mean, goddamn, I mean, we, excuse my language, but we have rejected this overhead 264, excuse me, 267 and 266.70. Like, that has been the wall. And if you look at this and flip it upside down, right, you would just assume this is accumulation before the inevitable, you know, distribution, if you will. But that's where, if you want to look at it this way, right, this is where sellers are picking up the price, and they have maintained their control. So really, I want to see them, you know, after said gap fill happens, step up and push price down. So yeah.
Potter, another thing is not only IWM, but like ETFs in general, I think are just consolidating with earnings coming up this week. So that's also a big, like NVIDIA starting off on Wednesday.
NVIDIA, yeah, that's right. Now, as far as and TTI has done a whole study on this, like that can drive overnight volatility for sure, especially with these bigger weighted stocks. But those moves don't always hold. In fact, most times they don't. They're corrected really easy, at least on the ETF correlating with whatever NVIDIA moves. So, but that, with that being said, you know, that might be the added volatility that we need, right, to at least start heading in one direction, whether that's, you know, back up to retest or if it's actually losing a floor. But with that being said, looking at SPY today, the story is going to be the absolute same. The only difference is obviously you do have a gap here, and there is still a fraction of empty space directly up above you. This morning we we're sitting right here. And so this is something where you could look at a break over your pre-market highs for the gap fill and maybe runners up into that 691. But like I said, with everything else, or with everything, right, we're in that channel. So we're going to need to still see price collapsing. And then you still have this signal directly underneath you at 281.69. That is the official potential, the official short signal is basically 681.69 for a drop down into the 670s. So do I have a Discord or training? Yeah, I do have a Discord, and I have the Potter Box Workshop, where I teach people my strategy. All right. So, and I'll zoom down here really quickly, kind of set this up. So I think the hourly is probably going to be your cleanest bet. That's how I feel about that. You know what I would do, guys? I wouldn't even really worry about that 30-minute. If you're focused on SPY today, that's the main focus right there. And it's not, it does have 3 rejections off the top and really just 1 bounce off the bottom. So over pre-market highs is 688, you would have that 689. And yeah, you could look for a continuation up to that 691.62. So well, it's not there yet, but if some triggers fire, it could look really good. So all right. Beautiful. All right, so ETFs are done. Obviously, the same story across the board. So we're no pressure right now. If you guys have anything you would like for me to or if you want me to take a look at anything, go ahead and drop your request now. I'm seeing people ask about NVIDIA. Of course, NVIDIA has one overhead resistance that, if broken, we can imagine that we would likely see a pretty strong rip overhead. Now, this one might be consolidating or waiting for its earnings. We've talked about that one as well. It's also operating pretty well inside of this channel. But with that being said, as far as an earnings trade goes, there is a ton of tension here, which could lead to your bigger move. You have a underneath floor target of 172. And then if this is to break, I would have a first target of 203. But I mean, honestly, with as long as NVIDIA has been consolidating, I would kind of be, yeah, if you actually go to the 4 hour here, you'll notice that the structure, and we'll clean this up a little bit, is really, really, really clean, offering that 202.40, and then there's a gap at cost basis at 206. So again, earnings is not been too crazy on NVIDIA lately, but with this sort of compression, we could expect a pretty big move, or at least a decent move on NVIDIA. But Josh, what membership would you recommend getting into trading? The only thing that you need from me, you do not need to buy the Discord from me. The Discord is not essential. The most important thing that I offer is the workshop, which is the most important thing that I offer, and is teaching your my strategy. So, yeah, that would be the focus there. Oh, 1 second. Oh, you put it on top of the fucking cat box? All right. All right, let's see here. You go learn the strat, much easier to read the charts that way. Rob Smith, Alex options on these. Nah, trigger Ray trigger vision. Please don't share your trash in here. This is not a dump. Is the workshop 101 or just something you put together? No, it's a class that I hold. Yeah, it's a class that I hold. March 1st is the next class. It is recorded live, so you can go back, obviously, and watch it. All right. What else do we have here this morning? Please drop your requests. I'm again keeping it real with you guys. Unless something pops up on my radar here that looks clear, I'm not really I don't move until the market does. So So we went over this one in depth last night, like extremely in depth. So it's not too late to go watch YouTube and check that out. But the reality is, right, is we talked about the top of the box over here to your left. This hourly box is really the most important factor here because punching down through it would lead you underneath this wall, which would then lead you back down to 116. Now with the gap directly up above you, so you could look at pre-market highs on the hourly. Right over that 125, you need 125.78, and then you have a gap fill. 30-minute time frame. What's my opinion on prop firms? They're great if you have a strategy, or they could be great if you have a strategy. If you're really proficient at that strategy, because remember, one of the traps, one of the reasons that, I mean, who's rich, prop firms or you? You know what I mean? Like they're making hand over fist because when new people get started and they are not proficient at a strategy, they are liquidity and they just provide, I mean, they literally are the backbone of those businesses. So don't be that. Focus on actually being able to, if you know that you don't, when you look at a chart, you don't know how to spot a good setup, prop firms are not for you. Not yet. Would I be recommend starting with 500 to 1,000? If that's low risk for you, yeah. If that's low risk for you, for sure. You could start with $100, dude. The goal is to trust the strategy, to see it play out. That's again one of the biggest mistakes that newer traders make is they just start trying to trade without or just with the idea that they're trying to purely make money, which yes is the goal, but the goal at first is not just is to be proficient at a strategy because that's how you make money. All right. What else do we have here? ABT. What if I'm built different? I guess you got to test the theory out, right? Get in there. ABT is not going to be difficult in the sense where you do have pretty simple support and resistance inside of this box. 3 off the bottom, 3 off the top. So you could go down here to the hourly. Yeah, I mean, again, it's not the cream of the crop here, but there's a nice tight channel right here. So we'd be looking over those 2 wicks at 116.26 to get the ball rolling, but it's going to be on the 30-minute time frame that this right here will be your ticket out of here. That's 113.18 and 113.44. At that point, I'd be looking to the upside. Java upside for earnings. Is the class free? All of my education on YouTube is for free, but this class where I'm going to be spending basically a week and a half with you guys, an hour and a half every day, Monday through Friday, and probably Saturday, teaching you guys this. No, that is not free. But all of the education, hours and hours and hours of, I think it's like 60 hours or 50 hours of, I don't know, probably over exaggerating, but there's a lot of educational videos on my YouTube channel. TradeStation I like a lot. I like TradeStation a lot. LVS, Las Vegas Sands, what direction? Upside? My way. So, first off, you are in between, or rather, have yet to trigger anything directly up above you. And I'm going to be honest with you, that box up above me is trouble. There it is. Okay, so first step, right, is going to be getting to $60. That happens over 59.22. So create a box. Oops, not that one. Place a box here. Okay, that makes a whole lot of sense. So 57 and 55.82, those are going to be major supports for you this morning. You're looking for a break today. Starting with a move over 55.50 and then 59.22. And the trigger to continue moving to the upside would be over 60.50. It is a workshop, yeah. Cash account, yes. Will the classes be posted on YouTube? No, they will stay inside of the Potterbox workshop. What is this, guys? Amazon is in range for sure. Still, and any sort of problem solving, right, is going to be on the lower time frame. So probably the hourly will be the best area to navigate. You have an irregular area of consolidation to your left, which just says it's not really clear in its points of contact. However, right now as we speak, we have a 207 retest, and this box or structure directly underneath you is what's going to help you determine bullish or bearish today. Because what we'd like to see, right, is a pullback, bounce, gap fill, and rush up to that 212.60. At that point, yes, there's of course the empty space directly up above you and a first overhead target of 215. One of the things that I see here is there is not any sort of lower or higher lows here, so we're not be able to really track trend or see anything of that nature. Oftentimes I'll do stuff like this to see if maybe I can front run that. That obviously would play along or into the hands of Amazon, but regardless of, you are still in a higher time frame range. So trade station, yeah. What do I look for in finding a good long-term equity? Institutional, congressional, political buying, good trading volume, regular, consistent movement. ELF, again, one of my favorite equity stocks. Period. End of story. I especially love this one because of how it treats its empty space, or its lack of structure. It fills the shit up, and it does it perfectly. We've had obviously a couple of different opportunities on this one, but I rinse and repeat when it comes to this stock, because as far as 24 our setups, they're pretty clear. Structure is usually on point. The only thing that sucks about ELF is its option contracts. So I'll place like 20 to 30, usually about $20,000 into something like this, because of how, again, surefire and consistent it is with its empty space recovery. So when it sees it, I mean, even now, right? That's what I'm contemplating as well, is maybe even a move as far as 122.44. What do I look for in a long-term friend? Don't talk to me. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Not sure. Don't be weird. Don't ask me for pictures of my feet. That's probably a good start. Hims has the consolidation to go the distance, right? And whether that means another leg down, which we do have a potential 1450 target directly underneath us due to the lack of buying power or pressure that we're seeing coming off of this floor, and underneath 1550, I expect that would likely occur. But over 1633, which I have an alert set on that, there is an opportunity to take this one not only up to 1768, but potentially up to 1850. If you want a more in-depth breakdown on that one, you can go on YouTube as well. I was listening to this song the other day, the one you're hearing right now, and those of you guys who are, obviously, if you're new here, you're not gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I was like, yeah, man, this is a jam. And you want to know the name of the song? The Devil's Peanut Butter. Thought that was pretty ironic. Oops. Pretty
Hey,
ironic.
Potter, can you take a look at Apple?
Yeah, sure. Do I watch earnings or not? Yeah, I love earnings. If there's a great setup, then count me in. Low risk, high reward. Oh yeah. All right. Listen, I'll be watching this one with you as well today. It has a couple of things that need to happen here this morning. 263.78 is going to be step one. You do have the obvious gap fill from the close, but it is still a setup. And I like Apple a lot. I like we know that this means that if Apple goes up, so does the market, right? More than likely, so does the market. And I believe, yeah, we already had earnings on this one. So here's what I'd like to see today. On the lower time frame here on the hourly, you're going to look at these two candle closes. I would suspect that there's a box or some sort of structure in there. Okay, that's pre-market structure. And it's still, listen, pre-market structures can be just as useful. And even though that's a weird array of candles, it still has points of contact. So 263.55, and I think we could just straight up go for the gap fill directly at 264.38. However, our problems are not solved, right? So on a lower time frame, this range is still true, but it disintegrates in structure and in points of contact. So what I'm going to do, and I know a lot of you guys who are listening are like, what the fuck did you just say? When I look at the higher time frame, right? You see how it starts to tighten up and starts to become more box-like? See that? That's not true here. So what I'll do is I'll break that shit down, right? And I'm looking for the same sort of phenomenon, right? Sideways consolidation, but now on a lower time frame because I'm going to be able to use this to place stop losses, entries, obviously. So 265 would be step one, but 265.50 would be where we would start eyeing, yes, the potential big break to the upside. Now, I expect with that empty space, there's probably a catalyst, and we can't, if this is bullish, you have to make good use of that gap fill. So, good morning, bro. I DM'd you. I'm a rusty survivor. Help me. So I'm actually planning and I might end up doing it like, I might end up doing it on like Thursday or Friday, but I'm gonna hold like uh, a Rusty Rod, Team Bull Trading, American Dream Trading, uh, Alex Trades Options, refugee program. So I'm gonna just kind of like warm up to the Potter Box class, I guess, if you will. So I'll spend probably a couple of hours basically giving you guys my strategy in its simplest form, and then breaking down some complexities from there that are important and really guiding, I suppose, if you will. So. But yeah, if you or anybody you know, I mean, you can try the strategy out with incredibly low risk, see if it works for you. It will. And go from there. So, all right, let's see here. Affirm has space up and down. You are correct. It does have a target down underneath it at 46.50. And that obviously is and honestly, folks, yeah, I would say I prefer this up just because there's more empty space up there. But this is a good lower time frame setup. You've got two off the bottom at 49.17. So pay attention to how price behaves on that mark. Getting back over 50.89 would be a great help, but of course, any candle closing green inside of those wicks from the 4 hour, yeah, to the hourly, the play pretty much stays the same. So I'll actually set an alert here at 51.50, and I might actually join you on that one. That's a decent little setup here for a day trade. You mentioned several influencers. What's wrong with Team Bull? Oh, brother. I don't have enough time to get on there. But let me just say this: if you're making, $1 million or $500,000 a month, and which again I'm not making off of my Discord for fucking absolutely sure, but that's what you started selling. That's the first thing you started selling, which gave you the ability to insert large amounts of liquidity into small spaces, where that's what again scalping is a lot of the time scared traders are attracted to scalping because in their mind they're avoiding a lot of risk or what they don't know, which is a funny way of admitting if you're purely just a influencing scalper that you are scared of everything above you and on a higher time frame. But with that being said, he can insert a shit ton of liquidity and then show you a $2,000 gain that he made off of a 30-second candle and reel you right in. It doesn't relate to 99% of the people who are trading in this space, and it's not sustainable for growth to try to mirror that sort of strategy. But I mean, he's admitted it himself. He said it himself, which, I guess I can give him that credit. He makes more off of his education than he does his trading. And you look at his face when he's sitting on his stream, and you can tell that motherfucker is disassociated. He doesn't make money trading, or he's not focused on it because it's not how the bread is coming in. So he just has great branding. Team Bull Trading, that's great branding. I'm not going to take that away from him, but that's what it is. So anyway, all right, Lily. Do I change my profile picture every week? Yeah, I do it to kind of throw scammers off. Oh, Lily, sorry, Lily, not Lulu. Man, Lulu was fun though. I almost bought some Lululemon boxers, dude, but I said, nah. Lily puts. Okay, so first of all, when something as clear as this floor is presented, that's what our focus would be on. Now, that being said, I think I see a sneaky little, oh yeah. So you might even be staying in range here. To your point, which I will obviously concede that there is empty space directly underneath you, but that would not start until you lose 1036. Or, yeah. So that's going to be first. And then if you're looking for a downside signal, start here through some sort of structure and underneath that floor, which is 1,000, which, yeah, you're close enough to $1,000 to look for that break. Yeah, there's a ton of empty space up there. Yes, this could make for a wonderful short if that opened up, especially down to 595 or 5955. Sorry. Yeah, I've seen that, man. I've seen that. Again, it's just like somebody who's like a market maker. You couldn't do what a market maker does because they make money in entirely different ways. You have to make money on the structure that they create. And so like his sort of trading is, again, like if you have a $1,000 account or even maybe a $10,000 account, like you're risking a lot to make a little in a small pocket of space, right? Assuming that you're avoiding risk. When in reality, right, I'm using a fraction of the risk that he uses, and I'm just focused on everything that most people, scalpers, and again, if you're a scalper, I'm not trying to insult you, but I'm not intimidated by the higher time frame or news or all that other shit. I don't believe that that's, I oftentimes will see those things. But no, it's not, man. Nifty, whenever somebody tells me that it's gambling, it just sounds like an admittance that you don't understand or you've had a bad experience. That's not been my case. And at some points, I could have maybe agreed with you, but that was when I wanted to quit. That was before I had a strategy that I felt comfortable with. And maybe that's what you need. There is no, listen, it's not just pure gambling. Um, there is a way to gamble using the stock market, and that's not how I trade. Oh, you mean them scalping? Oh, yeah. Yes. I would assume yes. That's more gambling than anything, Nifty. All right. We got 5 minutes left here. Let's take a look at whatever you guys have left. Kava still got alerts set on this one. So right now, and just to let you guys know, Kava, shop, a couple more we just went over. Um, Apple, obviously, I have alerts set on that one as well. Affirm kind of popping up here. Looks decent. I've got an alert set at 5145. Obviously, not a single one of these stocks have triggered. And listen, I'm just going to say this before we get too close to the bell. we are in that moment, right? Or in that structure where, I mean, it could be by the end of the week, we're spilling over. Um, but this is where my mind, or rather my focus, is not on the lower time frame, not with a golden opportunity like we have in front of us. uh, and again, whether that means up or down, there's money to be made on both sides. So while other people try to risk their money and blend that with problem solving, and I'm not saying that we don't have the potential to gap fill, rip, and go straight to 614. I obviously, with a gap up above us, would love to see that. And that can make for a great lower time frame trade. But again, we are looking, awaiting the bigger move, whether it's a move all the way into this pocket of no resistance, or if it's back down and into the gap. And again, that 24-hour analysis that we've gone over many times, which again, last time, and I'll leave it alone. That's your floor. That's your ceiling. We're stuck in between, right? So there is not a ton of risk that's going to be put on the table for me. So MKC down. You should make a video going over those plays. Or what? Can we see volatility in the market if there's a conflict with Iran, like what happened with Venezuela? Yeah, there could. Yeah, I would expect some added volatility. I mean, yeah. What are you looking at for McCormick here? It looks like you got a pretty gnarly pullback retest. You've got a box directly up above you, which you slammed off of cost basis. If you want to go short, wow, I was using bright ass yellow boxes the last time I charted this one. Okay, here it is. So if you're short, it's going to be this structure underneath you and a loss of 67.25. That would give you a target of 65.75 and maybe 63.50. This is also a candidate for something that above 70.11 that you could also be looking up to 73.65. But I'm not a big fan of that setup. Too much chunky chop. I mean, it does move. I'm not gonna, but it's. Ugh. All right. Yeah, it'd be way worse. Yeah, it would be way worse if they're attacked. So, all right, folks. Again, I am on watch mode, but I am looking at, and again, contracts would be the 614 to 613 strike. If we get that punch back, it's going to keep my risk relatively low. It is Monday, and I will be watching IWM as well. We'll be on TikTok and YouTube for about an hour, and then we'll call it. Remember, how we move at the bell is really going to tell me a whole lot. So, come on now. Baby. Ding, 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 ding. Tell me no more. Okay, so price is already trying to reclaim that floor here. I'm going to drop down since we're moving quickly and we're in structure. We need to see this floor reclaimed. We don't want to see candles getting pulled back underneath. And again, you can use lower time frame structure like your pre-market box here, right? To help you make a decision. Oh, baby. Oh, come on. Come on, no more. See how it's trying to pull itself back up off of that structure? It's trying to keep itself from falling underneath that 607. Oh, baby, don't call me no more. How'd you fall? Pretty quick, right? Did drive down. I don't usually go down to these lower time frames, but since it's a lower time frame setup, right? And I know where I'm at on the higher time frame, but I'm using this. There's cost, that old cost base is trying to pull volume off of it. It's going to need to pop back over 606.78, and then you'll tap right around that 607 mark. Right there. Boing, 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 boing. See that? Now, how did I see that, right? And again, this is only temporary. That's just the top of your fucking box to your left. So it's going to get tested. And if it gets broken, we can go test again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the market is going to be crazy. It's going to be tough to trade. It's going to be all the things because of where we're opening up in range. I've already gotten 614s. My stop loss right now on those is 606.41. Apple is moving into those highs right now, sitting, it's already popped. I missed my entry on that one. But it is at that overhead high of 266. So if you are watching this one, or if you're already in, if you swung some of those Apple contracts, 268.75 over those highs. So IWM is trash right now, although the volume typically will pick up relatively soon. Sellers win again. They're able to push it off of that 608 mark and drive price down. There it is, that top of the box again. Oof. PayPal doesn't is not moving yet. Yeah, that's not what you want to see right now up against resistance. That's the third time too you've rejected. Watch PayPal losing 40.80 and 40.40. You might be moving back down to that floor here. Q's, look at that. Didn't lose anything. Sellers don't win. Is he? Yeah, you know what? How do I feel about Jay Dunn? That tells me everything I need to know. Why does he have that book? Technical Analysis for Dummies. Listen, take me out to a pasture and take me out. Or if you ever catch me doing some shit like that. Because I'm dead. In the universe.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Oh, shit. Electric. Chilling right now, guys. This isn't like some highfalutin ass opportunity right now. I'm watching. I'm watching Apple too. Did anybody swing Apple? I know a couple of you guys were talking about swinging Apple. They're not up big if you got 275s, but listen, when I tell you that if they bounce this shit on Tesla, if this can find a floor, ugh, they're gonna that's gonna be nasty. So in order for you to make sure that that doesn't happen, come on, Q's, what are you doing here? My eyes are on IWM. It's not moving too much. I'm looking at this wick right here at 404.15. If you lose that, you would have a We'd have a 402 target. So what type of opening price action are we receiving since we're opening up inside of a range where we have not had buyers or buyers or sellers take over? We're seeing a battle between the both of them. Also, not to mention, you're in between what you could break down from and what you need to break through. So trading conditions are going to typically be tougher. Always. That means you just need more building, more of this, which is a nightmare. Apple's impressive, yeah. Yo, Lulu off the... I did not even see that. Oh my god. Yeah, Lulu's about to... sit back and watch the rumble. That's a good technique. Yes. Not bad, Qs. Still keeping their face up. Look at this shit, dude. Right off the floor. Look at that. Row your boat, I would, but TikTok might get mad at me, dude. Yeah, just take a deep breath, man. Relax. If you have a low risk position, cool, I do. But let it work. Let it twerk. It's about a week long, yeah. Depending on how many questions there is.
This is you actively
Put on their necks and never let up. I could probably get in here and solve some problems on the 45-second. You fucking crazy. Looks like we might be taking a little trip to the downside to go test the low. Do I actually use seconds? I'm not, like, not normally, no. I'll use it if structure is clear, which, again, if I can see a box on the 30-second, what's the difference between any other box? Just going to move faster. And if I need that to be able to see, then I'll use it, right? In order to find these bounce levels like this one and like that one. Again, zoom out before you go crazy. Just remember, we need to stay obviously underneath 606. If you are looking short, you got a lot underneath you that has to be lost, including what we're fighting for right now. Join my Oracle put. No, that's not bad. I saw that. Again, just to remind anybody who's watching, I'm not trying to catch every little move inside of here. I want to know whether we're going to fucking lose our floor, which is 603. And again, I'm looking for the weekly break down, which, what does that tell me? Not too much. Not yet. If you are looking for a target at the downside, it's 603.50. There is a pocket right here in the 15-minute time frame. I'm just narrating for anybody who is doing anything right now. Obviously, if we lose this low right here, we're going to look at 603.63 in there. That is empty, so that would be relatively easy to flush through. 602 and 601.50 will be two targets to the downside. So QQQ puts or calls. Right now, I have more of a short bias on the Qs. Yeah, I have more of a short bias on the Qs. Kind of interesting. We rejected not. I mean, we didn't fill the gap, but we rejected right off of that 608. Yeah, we did not cap fill.
Yeah, NQ was at 25K at that time.
Mm-hmm. So in order for me to feel good about, taking something short, I want to, and I will say right now, sellers are doing their job, right? On NQ especially, that overhead is where they're pushing back. But in order to see continuation to the downside or a bigger move, right, which would lead us likely to 25.7 or 24.7 here, we need to lose a floor, which we are in a good position to potentially do that underneath 25.883. So obviously translating that to the Qs, it's just that 604.28. What's up?
Thought you were done. The SPY, you see like a 683 target?
I don't know if I like that one. You said a what target?
Wait, hold on. That kid's home today. You got like a foot and a half, 14 inches so far.
Oh, damn. Damn. 686.85 would need to be lost.
Right.
Such a terrible setup though right now.
I'm looking for the rundown and then.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, it is underneath that 685.83 officially, but yes, with you diving or dipping down, if you were short, you would have a stop loss right now of 688.10. And again, you haven't lost enough to actually, keep moving. Obviously, you were sitting here, but yeah, I'd be looking underneath 689, 686, sorry, 92 on the 15-minute here.
We do need a candle close though.
Yeah, which we don't have. I grabbed some 614s this morning. I got out of them. I bought like 15 of them. They were $22. I sold about 19, so I'm literally just sitting. A and F down. Heathen company, heathen rich shit. Old A and F, huh? Ooh. I think we talked about. Ooh, that's good. Yeah, I do have. Yes, I have Q puts. That was the whole purpose behind taking this long. I have 598s and 588s. I have puts for the 27th. I have puts for the March 6th. So I have a starter position for a short. I'm up 30% on the 598s, but I do like ANF. I need to see the contract prices on this one, but I mean, the only thing that I will say is yes, you are traveling in this channel here, but there's enough distance down here. I would say an $85 target is first, and that is going to simultaneously, I think, be this floor here. That's actually 82, 84, so. If you guys are on TikTok, be sure to tap your screen. We're in limbo right now. Again, I want to be on the right side of this fucking trade. And all of this whippy fast, like it drive. Listen, that big 5-minute candle probably had everybody thinking Michael Burry. Not yet. Why? Because there's a fuck ton, excuse my language, of stuff that we need to work for or work through. And it's not going to be that jolt down with no catalyst, with no news, that's going to disrupt the volume underneath us immediately without us trying to extract some of that volume. So I lost all my money.
Neo's trying to take off.
You said Neil's trying to what?
Said Neo is trying to
Ah, really?
take off.
Neo's so cheap. You know, that is interesting. How do you see the 24-hour chart? You got to add it to your time frames right here. Add custom interval. The only reason I'd be playing to the upside is because I'm trying to protect my downside. But right now, if you look overhead, now things are getting simpler. If we go back up above 606.60, we can look for the gap fill. Simple. Now look underneath us, right? What do we bounce off of? Where we fall, right? Overhead resistance, bounce level, that's 603.50. So, have fun. Anybody heard from Jorge?
Not me.
Qs are cooked. I actually will correct you on that one. The Qs are cooking, and the meal will be ready soon. Listen, let me put this in perspective. Actually, my goal, it might be kind of ridiculous. My goal is to fund a move to the West Coast off of this fucking IWM move. Whatever direction it goes in. I'm trying to create that cushion, if you will, so I can start prepping for LA cost. Not LA, I'm not going to be in LA, but it's pretty much not. Yeah, Peyton said she was considering Florida, so it's really a toss up between Florida and damn, snow fucking died. EU trade froze trade deal with US. I'm not a big fan of. I like Florida, but I cannot stand the bugs, man. I can't stand the bugs. I don't mind paying property taxes.
For me, it's Southeast Asia.
Maybe I'll move to fucking Denmark. Just live in a fucking shack in a Ford. Check out Charleston, South Carolina. I've been there many times. I'm done with I'm kind of I've lived on the East Coast probably the majority of my life. And yeah, I'm going to go back. Who paid me to say I don't mind property taxes? I don't mind property taxes if the taxes go to something. other than Israel. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, yeah, I'm not gonna move somewhere
Yeah.
because they're like, again, there's no uh that's not gonna be the main reason for me moving. You know what I mean? I'm gonna move somewhere that I want. That's the whole reason I do this, is so I can have the options to do what I want. So Trump manipulating crypto. How do you get your boxes to be hidden on different time frames? You have to actually click on the box. If you click on the box, it'll give you date and range. Anywhere is what you make it. You know what? I think one of my favorite sayings, we're moving there or more than likely moving there. I'm just done with Savannah. I've lived here on and off. I've had, many different versions of myself. But we've never really created a base. There's not a community. There's the walkability, which I know some people are gonna be like, well, Savannah's super walkable. I'm like, yeah, if you live downtown, which fucking sucks. Also, let me just say this. The cost of living in Savannah, Georgia is a not far from LA, from a lot of these like coastal houses. Like you could rent a full-on house right now for like $3,800. Right? Like a full house, like car garage and all that other stuff. I looked at the prices in California, not far off at all. So like, what am I getting out of Savannah where I could be obviously there? I mean, I'm making my life harder. I know this, but if you're looking for some seasonal depression, I recommend Wisconsin. Dude, I lived in, please. No, I lived in I was just thinking of Invincible. What do you, please. But no, I lived in Oregon. And that, dude, you want to talk about seasonal depression? And then they hit us with COVID during winter, or during like I mean, it was the whole damn year, but yeah, that shit made it way worse. Moved to Long Beach. It's LA's little brother. I was born in Palmdale, but I think right now I'm looking at a couple of properties. I might end up renting so that way I can actually like go and like shop the market. We might rent a house for like a year, uh, which I mean that shit still makes me cringe, but um, yeah. Come back to DFW, man. There is some. I actually don't. I actually love Texas. I think there's obviously parts of Texas I'm not super fond of, but it's like multiple. I mean, you have so many different versions of Texas. It's such a big state. Um, but nah. As long as you don't think LA is walkable, I'm not moving to LA. I'm sorry. You're right. I'd like to probably move. There's Huntington, um, and then San Diego is definitely reeling me in right now. If you need a place
How
in
about the 51st state?
the 51st state, what are you talking about? What are you talking
Canada,
about?
sorry.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Israel.
Oh, no.
Here's the thing, though. As you know, the family man that I am, I have a story about Afro Man. I'll tell you in a minute, Aaron. Um, but I have lived so many different places in my life. And I went to 16 different schools through my whole childhood school career. So like, as far as nomadic, no matter where I am, I'm gonna fucking plant myself and grow. I don't care where I am. I mean, if you put me in Oklahoma, I might be upset. No offense, but or in Ohio. Also, no offense, because one of my good buddies lives in Ohio, and I tease him for it all the time. Um, but no, I mean, again, it's like my wife has a dream. She allowed me the space to create something of my own. She held it down, even when she had postpartum, while I was trying to, you know, mad genius my way through the stock market, try and figure this shit out. Um, And so now I'm in the place to prop her up and, help her hopefully achieve her dream, which is to be a fashion designer and to do high fashion. And that's not really Savannah. So, guys, we're talking right now. We're yapping because I'm not seeing anything clapping, dude. If you guys see anything and you want to interrupt me, feel free anytime to do that. But I am scanning on the right side and on the top of my screen here. Netflix heading down
For
too
me,
low.
I'm in IWM. I'm hoping it breaks 262.06. That's my first support level.
What contracts do you have? Actually, that looks pretty fucking good. Yeah, I actually already have IWMs. I have 256 puts for March, which is all the way the motherfucker down here, and it's the gap, past the gap. But does she have a TikTok? Yeah, it's Poshland, Posh, Poshland. She's working on a piece right now. It's taken her 70 hours to make the bottom skirt because she's hand beating. Like, it's incredible, actually. I'm not even she's not even here to hear me, so I'm not getting any credit for this at all. Not even a little kiss. You said shop downside target? Good God, dude. I would. Yo, that is range. Punch down. 116.75. That's fire, dude. I'm glad somebody made use of that setup. Although I will say it is always suspicious when that gap doesn't fill. I do like that IWM. What contracts did you say you had? Let me buy them. You mean inflate your contracts?
Sure.
What strike do you have though, for real?
I have 258s.
For today?
Friday.
For Friday. All right, tell me if you feel this. I was kidding. Sorry. Ugh. Yeah, I actually really like that a lot. I'll cover this really quickly and break down why. Obviously, most of the gap is filled. Overhead resistance at 264.35 gets tapped. We're obviously looking at a 1 minute till this 2-hour candle closes, which would likely be in the wicks. And the first target underneath us will be 261. Let's see, 30-minute, keep driving down. Okay, yeah, so this is really the only floor that we can bounce at right now. So where can't we go if we do bounce? Continuation would be 262, and that would offer up a retest at 262.50.
It just looked like we're flushing right through the first support level. 262.06 is where I had my line at.
Fast for Ramadan and stop over trading. Yeah, you should fast from over trading. Yeah, I haven't over traded. I've been in way too many positions as of recently, but I have not been guilty of over trading in a long time. God damn, I'm fire with these bounce levels. Why'd you have to do that?
By the way, I'm caught in a blizzard. I don't know why the hell I'm here.
You're in a blizzard, like right, like in your house?
Yep. Well, outside.
No, I didn't mean a blizzard in your house, but I meant like, are you at your house?
Yeah, I am. If you recall, I came back from El Salvador a couple of weeks ago. I don't know why the hell I'm back.
You said, well, I don't know why the hell I'm back. How was it? Was it nice down there?
It was very nice. So before that, I was in Vietnam and Japan, and then I went to El Salvador because I bought a house out there.
Damn.
So it's nice.
God damn. I love that, dude. Take me with you on one of them trips.
I think you definitely do well in El Salvador. Pupusas everywhere. What are you kidding me? Mangoes. I don't know if you like that.
I fucking love mangoes, dude. Especially with the spicy stuff on it. How much did your house cost in Salvador?
It was
d-
20,000. It was several acres, and right now I just got it appraised, and it's over 170.
Damn. That's nice, dude.
Well, here's the fucking kicker. Now I owe taxes in the U.S. though.
If you never come back, you know. I'm just kidding. That's JD talking. Oh man.
Because, when they did that sale, right? They actually report to the U.S. government.
Mm. Very good. Of course. Somebody on TikTok is asking if it's safe.
Where? El Salvador?
Mm-hmm.
100% safe. There's 0 gang members there now.
Oh yeah, I guess that's right.
Yeah, it was like Mexico where the cartels controlled everything.
Damn. Can you tell like the
That's where they
vibe is
cleaned it
different?
up, right?
Yeah, the president militarized, well, everything, even the police force.
Hey Potter,
Yeah,
could you pull up NVO?
sure.
It had a dumpy this morning, and
Yes,
I'm
it
kind of
did.
looking to play that bounce back.
Okay, so what's step one?
What's above and what's below?
There you go. Ooh, you retested something fierce, didn't you?
Yeah,
Ugh.
I had 39.78 marked out.
Okay, so we're gonna have to fight. We're gonna have to do it with this box, which is, I mean, you totally, totally. I mean, that this should be relatively perfect. All right, 5 minute is actually gonna be a site for sore eyes here. So nice little structure right here. Candle close outside of 41.20. Clearly, so now we're looking. Yeah, so we're looking at a break of 41.26. $41 is going to be the first, or 42, excuse me. Sorry, is going to be the first floor here on the 5 minute. And I think that, yeah, you got to be looking at 43, which how does that translate down to my 5 minute? Yo, this, come here. Come here, bud. Yeah. Come here, Toothless. I found out the hard way that I am not a cat groomer. All right, real quick, we got a punch down here on the 32nd for the cues. Watch this floor. Over to your left. So this is the pocket if you are short that you're looking to eat. You're looking to eat this hot pocket right here. Oh, it's fire. I'm seeing a lot of individual equities right now spilling over. Snow. Coin just came off of an overhead rejection. Lulu is dying. Somebody shit in their yoga pants. Uh, Tesla hasn't really moved here. Netflix has reached actually did end up reaching a low here this morning, bouncing. But keep an eye on this right here, right below that 603. We could be looking at a pretty decent little leg down. Like 3 stacks of Gillette. Liquidated in the first 30 minutes. Small accounts are so hard to trade. Small accounts should not be trading lower time frame trades. You need to maximize your fucking dollar. And so if you're playing a 5-minute time frame, you're going to expect a 5-minute reward. You need to be playing the higher time frames if you want to make a bigger bag. You got to ignore all, I mean, I don't have a small account and I'm still waiting for the bigger move. I just have the ability to speculate or to start adding to positions or hold positions that I have already swung. So if you are new, I'm telling you, don't stop learning the hard way. Focus on the bigger breaks. Where are we? Same place we were this morning. How is price action going to behave? It's going to wear your ass out until we get an actual break, right? And what do we have underneath us? Oh, plenty of signals, right? What do we have above us? A gap. Let it work. What's the lowest time frame for a small account? So you can use whatever time frame you need to problem solve, but your trade should be based off the higher time frame, right? Apple's building back up again here. Eson. I finally listened to the new J. Cole album. Some of the songs were, nah. KDP, got it. Yeah, boy. Crack you open a cold one. That's a great start. Good floor, good bounce. That's exactly what the fuck we talked about. I'm sorry, not to, I know I'm using a lot of potty words this morning, but my kids are not home and I got to get it out of my system. Look at that. Drop down, empty space, build up. So even though this hasn't gone yet, this is a great fucking start to get our fucking Dr. Pepper all hot and never mind. If you don't pay attention to the lower time frame though, won't you miss it? No. Bell, that's one thing that I've had to learn to trust. And I do watch the lower time frames because yes, there are some situations that are set up for 24 or for intraday breaks or for, trading day breaks. And that's fine. I can typically see that setup and I will respond accordingly. But there are a great deal, especially, listen, we haven't been doing this a lot lately, but in a trending market, that is where you are oftentimes, I mean, it is way easier to be waiting for a candle close at the end of the day and you can swing because continuation happens overnight. I'm so used to the lower time frame, but I mean, walk with me logically, right? If the 3-minute setup, right, is going to give you a 3-minute play, then what do you expect, right, out of the 24-hour? Right? Or what do you expect out of the hourly? A lot more, right? And the same setups that you see on the lower time frame, the same everything I teach you, right? About candle closing. Look at it right now. That's bearish. We know where our long is. We would set an alert there. And we're looking at a potential punch now. I am live on TikTok, yeah. We have not had many good swings. No, we are not in a trending market. Yeah, if any, yeah, there is. Do I trade London or Asia? I don't. Nah, we don't do. I don't do any of that, man. I trade setups because setups come first. I don't do the whole London Asia thing. I'm not also a futures trader. I am an options trader, and typically my setup I'll see a setup the day before and then like during the Asia session or the London session, like price will go to my target. But I don't care that's maybe if that's the reason why, it doesn't matter to me because the setup was already there. I already expected that to happen. So I don't really, yeah, I don't pay attention to that shit. 10:30, if price hasn't made a new high or a low, I typically am moonwalking out of there. But I don't do London or Asia or anything like that because, again, individual equities can give a fuck about that sometimes. Apple curling back up, but still has lower time frame structure to move through on the 1 minute. You got a pretty solid box here, so let it work. The market has been trading for over a year, just chop. I mean, yeah. Let's see. I mean, not a year, but yeah, close. We were trending, back in September. Trended all the way to October. And then we pretty much since last October, we have been sideways. So. What did you say about the Dow? Oh my God.
Hey Potter.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I can't see anything. The stream is full.
If anybody
And
can, Ivy is in the hospital today, so we don't have a
and
secondary streamer.
I have a question. Do you think IWM is gonna punch down more, or do you think this is it?
I mean, overall, I think that IWM has, on a higher time frame, yes, a great deal more. You did and have just now hit that 260 target that we have spoke about today. So I would expect for price action to potentially, and this is where we move down into a lower time frame. So again, sitting here, same floor, over to my left. There's a black SUV that just pulled up outside of my house. That's scary. 30-minute time frame. 15-minute time frame. So where do you need to hold? You need to hold price down under 261. Right here. So I'm interpreting this live. Price and look at the 5-minute. Do you see that? That's good. That's what you want to see. That's grabbing hold or passing the baton. So I think right now, right, you're on standby because you're looking for a continuation of the upside, but you do know that there's empty space back up above 261.10, and that's where you would need to get out, right? Or at least, depending on your expiration, you'd be looking at a 261.31 retest, and if that is recovered, continuation. Yeah, I'm in IWM. I'm in IWM with you guys, so. End of the day on KDP would be fine. He was trying again. Okay, getting faded off of that too at 604.65. Is Ivy okay? I think she was doing all right, but I mean, what she's going through is not good. So I mean, she's Alex. Is she? I don't know if you've checked on her. Is she doing okay today? She sent me. She's had to get like a couple blood transfusions, so probably not the best thing in the world. She's getting ready to go back home. Okay. Tell her not to come to work. I hope she doesn't try. I don't think she will, but she needs to rest. She's to rest and stretch. Well, maybe not stretch first, but yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry she's going through that. I will, man. I'll let her know. I'll let her know that you guys are all thinking about her. She thinks stress, and then that's causing inflammation, so and that can be affecting her condition. What's the next target on IWM? I have 259.80. I'm feeling pretty good about this now. Let's go ahead and start back over.
Yeah, I have 259.50.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
I mean,
I
this
got
one, I think.
70s over there.
Yeah, dude, stress is a killer. That is, yeah, it is not good. I see I see the 24-hour floor. Simple, right? Obviously we're already losing one of these kind of minor floors at 260, which is psychological, but 259.38 is the bottom of that 24-hour candle, and exactly where we were talking about, right? That break below 261, that's where we'd be looking at right here. So now we do have, if I'm not mistaken, right, we had that box over here to our left right here, but you are entrenched, at least for the moment, on that. So got out of my shorts on IWM at 108%. Nice job, dude. Yeah, I'm up. If anybody swung those or anything on IWM, those are up pretty good. About 100%, yeah. I want to take an option out on CRML. Am I jumping the gun? Critical metals. The fuck is that sound? I don't think you're jumping the gun. It's a good base. I mean, if you had a stop loss of 875, you'd be in a good, yeah, you'd be good setup. So, damn, IWM. All right, sheesh. I'm gonna sell some of these shorter expiration contracts at about 140%. We're still pretty far away. Yeah, Tesla's not there yet. Netflix is climbing right now. Netflix just reclaimed its floor at 75.50. I'm not trading that one. Yeah, trail stop on IWM would be off this box, everybody. That box right there, and you're back up. No, when you're ready. Got it.
Neil's continuing.
You said, dude, it sounds like you're saying Neil, like our member.
Neil.
There, you just sound like
Neo.
sound like a cat in heat.
Meow.
Oh. Okay, I found your wife's TikTok. She's talented. Hell yeah. Yeah, she blows my mind, man. She just says, like, she'll just be like, I want to do this, and then she'll just figure out how to do it. I ain't hear what you said. Salivating, right? Trying to face the beheaded. Set it. You would be doing it on the 2-hour here. Yeah, you need to break down below the 88 floor. You can. It's just a range. Yeah, really, when you're getting into a short like this, it's all about your stop loss. So, I'm not able to show the chart right now, but I would say that a stop loss of like 90.85 would be solid. Beautiful trimming opportunities on shorter expiration contracts for IWM. No trail stop. Oh, yeah, I don't have like a encoded one on Robinhood. Yeah, there's no one. Sensei, I got out of those. I saw what SoFi did. It hit my target. I got out. And I left a few runners, and nothing really happened. But I got too close to expiration, so I had to scram. Friday contract shouldn't be trimming. Oh no, you could definitely trim on Friday. Reduce if you're up. Depending on if you're up like 100%, yeah, you could take take the risk off and let it go. 164% on IWM put. Nice job, Buster. Sensei, I'm going to short PayPal when the time comes. Today's not that day, though. I don't think. That's actually a great. I like that 4-hour candle. I just would like to see a little more lost. The short level on that one for me is actually an hourly box right here between $40 and $40.38. All right, if this is going to be a rejection, you want to see sellers step up and eat that candle. If not, we might find our bounce area today. We're pretty close to one already, so. What is the SPY target? Remember to type in the other live trading chat. That one is just for request. Right now we're working through it, right? But the next target down on SPY would be 683. Nice job. So that's what you want to see on IWM. At least here is most of that candle get eaten up. Because we're moving through so much structure, unless you have at least a week or two out, it's going to be a struggle to hang on to the value of your contract. So not to say you can't, especially if you have a low risk position. Do your thing. You guys know the deal. But the news for PayPal comes this week, Garrett. All right, Sensei. Are you in the Discord, dude? Why are you on TikTok? Come back. Come into my house. Pause. What the fuck are we listening to right now, boy? Potter looking gains. Let's see what you got. I just made what I can do on Uber all day. Now I don't have to push myself working 10 to 12 hours a day. I was losing a lot of money until I started listening and learning from you. So thanks a lot. Dude. Oh my God, dude. If I could roll that comment up and smoke it, dude. That's amazing, bro. Nice. 420. Not bad, bro. Not bad at all. Nice contract size, too. Good 20 contracts. Love that. Good cost. Good risk to reward. What's the trade on alien disclosure? I have no idea. All right, IWM is touching my 259.67. In attorneys, just because you bought that vintage Mark Zella. I only do OTD or 0 days exploration. How's that going for you? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Cold, cold world that we live in. I'm already in Apple, yeah. Oh shit, Apple is going. Hey! Yeah, Apple has, funny enough, I mean, Apple is... Yeah, Apple's actually grabbing onto things right now. We've got 267.50 right now that we're looking for. Yeah. I already have. I swung. I had app. I already have Apple. I swung Apple. Yeah. All right. We just tapped that target. Remember, everything above us is empty space. So don't sit here and try and negotiate when and if we start moving through structure up above us. Right now we're good, but we're moving slow. I don't use a prop firm, Joey Fresh. I use real money. That recruited highly. Do you and I do me. Gray dog. Oh shit. Nice job, dude. Oh my god, yeah. You made a little bag there, my boy. Well, $3,600. Actually had a new prop firm. This lady, Ivy, probably saw the emails coming in, but boy, they were asking me every like, hey, are you interested in promoting, you know, or using the our funded? And I was like, absolutely not.
They've been very desperate lately. It looks like the moment they lose money, they change the policy. It's annoying.
If you have a month expiration on IWM, then this is just a piece of the move, my boy. Yeah, class is March 1st at 5:30 p.m. It's going to last for about a week. It'll all be recorded. I don't have any hedges on IWM right now. Yeah, Apple's doing good, Peter. It actually did go up to that 267.50 though. I think we have the potential to start curling here. And you can always re-enter, you know, again, this is lower time frame, 1 minute. Nope. You that person the same piece of shit until I get me a Bentley. Uh This is punching back up, yes. Qs have they're dead right now to me. I mean, they're in the right place. I love where they're at, but where we have not broken that 60350 area, which we have to break. I'll show you really quick. Let me switch. We might go touch another low here on the Qs. But the reality is that that is what we need to lose here. And if we do, we've got a nice juicy leg down to like 60170 and 60150. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Legend of the Fall. I learned how to take bounces today, Potter. Sold my put, and now in a call, your system is so stress free, man. Takes a lot of pressure off of it, doesn't it? You talking about on IWM? Nice job, Grey Dog. And that was a great punchback too. So you just tested this box up above you. Now, Q's, they're not finding any buyers right now. I wait for the Ichimochi cloud to get broken before entering a trade. That's wild. I'll smoke on an Ichimochi cloud, but I'll never. I dropped that indicator a couple of years ago. It just was like a Japanese fucking Bollinger Bands. All right, Q's. Good start. Need to lose this low again. We got a lot of individual equities that are pushing up, so I'm trying to be certain of this one, but we got that first target of 602.28 if we could dip. That's a small floor. We just got to lose this 603.23. And they're not going to let that happen too easy. So let's... U.S. orders non-emergency personnel to leave Beirut embassy amid tensions. Awesome. If we go to war with Iran, it's not for America. I'm just fucking going to say that. It's not for America. It's for Israel. There you go. There you go. Yeah. So many levels underneath us to bounce off of. It's insane. Getting out of this range would be a gift. I'm still in IWM, yeah. IWM right now needs to break on the literally the 1 minute time frame. We just bounced off of it. Whatever, yeah, that structure is right there. That's what you're going to need to break, but I can already see some control here looking like that. So we'll see. Right now, getting back over, right? That's what your tap, see that right there? That tap, that's where you'll see price expand back up. And at that point, 260.80 would be in the cards. Qs are retesting that 603.30. If you're on Discord, take a look over here to that channel. So if we break over that 605.15, we'd be expecting a retest. Trump talking right now. Is that what we're calling it nowadays? Make sure to check out my YouTube, by the way. PotterStocksTrading.com. Or not .com. PotterStocks Trading at YouTube. Oh, high stakes trading. I already, trust me, I've been down that rabbit hole. I made a burrow there. Yeah. If it's been in the Middle East, it's been for the expansionist power that is there. The YouTube stream keeps freezing for you. All right, listen, Apple ripped hard, and so that empty space underneath us is in jeopardy, right? Underneath that green candle, right, or that 266.50, there's a pullback in there. Do you like doing calls or puts better? Does it make no difference? Listen, it has everything to do with where the market is trending. I'm not gonna sit and try to play the downside in an uptrending market. Like that's never something that I want to do. I'd rather play the bounces. But yes, in a trending market down, you know, even right now with the Qs and all of our ETFs with that all of this overhead pressure, you know, there's more. I have more of a downside. Yeah, but I have a more of a downside focus there. Now, as far as price action, dumps happen faster than a lot of the times as rips. Depends on the you know individual equity that you're looking at. But I am fond of the downside. However, you know when the time comes, my preferences don't matter. I play where it tells me to go. So. The only thing I don't like about downside moves is they're not easily sustained. Um, and when they happen really quick, like how we're expecting, you know, maybe a potential ETF dump could happen, it's going to be 2 to 3 days, and then it's going to fucking bounce hard, you know. So, do I provide buy or sell signals? I do not. Absolutely not. I would be doing you more harm than good because signals are not where it's at. It's just a really easy thing to sell to people who think that the stock market is too hard for them to understand because it's shrouded in mysticism, but it is not. It's just supposed to make you feel dumb before you even have a chance. And it also is something that is easy to market, but doesn't help people over the long term. You might get short temporary gains, but as soon as you start learning, as soon as you start gathering information on what exactly, or bits and pieces, and some of that information can be wrong or be outdated, and then you're in an even bigger mess because your brain is tied to receiving signals, not problem solving your way through them. But that's exactly what that's most people's story is the same. They get into a signal group. They right now we are refusing that floor at 603.50. They get into a signal group, things go pretty well, and then they get hooked, and then they start learning. And when they start learning, shit hits the fan, and then they're in a spiral because you cannot. Real quick, there's a wick right here. Keep your eyes peeled right here. So if you have any of an IWM, same thing, or QQQ, or Jesus Christ, IWM, same thing. Jesus. All right, that's your opportunity right there. And we might get to 16,400 subscribers on YouTube today. Yeah, if I disappear or I'm gone, where are your signals at? You cannot base your financial well-being off of somebody else's decisions. If that's the case, then just fucking, get a financial advisor or a money manager, Just have them do it, if you're, but signals are just, they're the easiest thing to sell. They're the easiest thing to market. But and not to say that we don't work together or I don't tell people. I think I made myself pretty clear about how I feel about Apple or how I felt about IWM and the Qs, my overhead, what I'm looking at as far as contracts are concerned, expiration. So, like the signal is there, but if you're not speaking the same language as we are, if you're not of understanding, then you're not going to know what I'm talking about. I wish we could see your beautiful Aryan eye. Oh my God, get out of here, dude. Is this considered chasing? I don't know what you're doing. I'm still short. I haven't changed my, but if you caught a bounce on this trade, fire. But that overhead resistance did exactly what the fuck it was supposed to do. And now sellers are back in control here, at least for now. Obviously, we're getting a long pause here sitting on this floor. So I'm watching dutifully. This is a potential bounce level, yes, on a higher time frame, on every time frame. This is a major level. If you look over here to your left, this is where price keeps falling, right? Or has to go back up and break. And that's where we would be looking at the floor. But set your trail stop. Right now it's not like you don't have a floor that you can mark out. You got a beautiful retest up there, filled your empty space, drove down. So any retest would likely be up in that 603 here. IWM sitting at the floor here. $259.50 and $259 flat. Chat, by the way, if he burps, it means he just took profit. That's crazy. Wait, hold on a second. Where was that guy who said, I'll be back in the morning to tell you, or to, he said, we're bullish at open. That man was adamant. Oh, he did. Yeah, maybe 2 minutes. If there's any risk you'd like to get off, obviously being at the floors is never a bad place to do that. Up pretty chunky. Yes. Theta on the ODTs are, yeah, I've got a longer expiration, so. Is it safe to go short on the Qs now? We're at a floor right now. As literally as you said that, we just fucking bounced. So, no. This is where risk is reduced, and what you want to see is price move up into these ranges and then lose the floor that they reclaimed, and then you could look at a potential continuation short. But there's also a possible strong move back up to the upside looming if we can't find new lows. This is a major floor. Product of being inside of a major range. So you don't run any EMAs or anything? No, I run 0 EMAs. I mean, again, what would an EMA tell me here that price wouldn't? It's lagging. I'm watching real-time price action. Watch the retest right back down here at the floor. Tap there. Or maybe the candle closes underneath you. Well, that's pretty bearish. No tap. No tap. Dive down 30, or excuse me, 32nd. Now I'm here. I need to see the structure. Okay, so we have 602.83. 602.83. Yeah, so I mean, I'm just letting you know from experience. When I dropped the EMAs, the whole ribbons, the everything, when I dropped all of that, that's when my percentages and returns increased because I wasn't focused on something that is tracking, lagging. It's lagging against price. So I created a strategy, you know, not because of the EMAs, but just that's focusing purely on structure and price, and that works. And the less my idea is just simplification. I'm trying to keep it simple. And the more EMAs I add, the more variables or things that could deter me from taking a trade or stop me from, and I don't want that. Rogue, I just saw your comment. That's funny. You know, and it's not like I didn't spend years staring at just price to you know make sure that I wasn't, you know, maybe they what are you doing? You know, maybe there is some use to them, you know, or maybe, but I didn't find that there's cost basis on the Qs bouncing. My website is potterstockstrading.com. That's where the workshop is at, which is on March 1st live. If you get it, you'll have access to what's already been recorded, the classes we've already had, and then you'll have access to the class that we have on March 1st, which is for beginners from start to finish. That's on the website. There's one workshop that has 6 months, so that way you get time in the Discord to ask me questions, talk to me, trade with us. And then one is just the workshop. So we could use more crushing of private equity. So it's on my website, potterstockstrading.com. Building a box around cost basis right now. So not really the kind of bounce that we would expect, right? And when you did bounce, you were unable to reclaim anything. So right now, sellers are still in control. And regardless of the channel, right? Regardless, something has to be reclaimed. So hopefully nobody's being antsy because period point blank, it is 603.62 that would need to be reclaimed. And when you are trying to take trades that are confirmed, you can take bounces and obviously find places to stop out there. But when you're looking for the bigger move or a reversal, right, there's lines in the sand that can be drawn. It's a well-built website? Did you make it yourself or hired somebody? I hired Manny's wife. There you go. Okay, IWM, new lows. Q's, new lows. Targets underneath me, 604. Touch my toes. Oh my God. And listen, when it starts moving fast like that, you got to be on point if that's one of your trim marks. Now that's a spicy meatball right there, my friends. Ugh. Oh my God. All right, over here to your left. Stay on point, right? 601.50. Coming in hot for shorter expiration contracts. Dropping underneath that will drive us into 661, but we're already touching major floors right now. Yeah, 601. That was the 50% mark median, so. I don't do any credit spreads. I don't do credit spreads. Last time I did that was on some bullshit. My wife. I'm sorry. Actually, I hate that guy. Bro fumbled Issa Fisher, dude. Yeah, I don't like the actor. Dude, he's a raging Zionist, brother. Raging Zionist. Unrepenting. Yeah, Principal Patterson. Let's go, dude. This might be the first time in my life that I've made a principal happy and not disappointed or sad. That's okay. It did. It had the juice. It had the juice, Principal. Zebo, are you heartbroken over that, dude? You didn't respond, man. Is it too late to short the Qs? Yes. But, I mean, it's not too late on a higher time frame. But taking a position right now without having major floors be broken, like 665, which we're looking at right now, so whenever I take a trade, right, whether I've missed it or it's like it's gone past my target, my goal is to find a stop loss that makes sense, right? That would be an area that cannot be reclaimed, and right now you're pretty far from those. He did Zebo, but at the end of the day, he said what he said. Maybe he's changed positions, but I actually swung some Qs over the weekend. I had hedges on those as well, but they 598s for the 28th or 27th, and then the 588s for March. But that 588 was a starter position for a much larger play that I'm looking at taking on the weekly. You know, again, there's that target on the weekly right there, multiple bounces, 589.16. But I want to take them to that 580.50 and possibly beyond. But in reality, it's this structure over here to my left, just like I would on the 5-minute, right, guys? Just like we would on the 5-minute. If we lose this, right, which formidable floor makes sense. We're in range. We're coming off of a rejection overhead, which was a good place to place that speculative setup. But we have things that we have to do. So if you're looking to take a position, you need to have a stop loss. And when you're dumping, you are potential liquidity, and the fact that you don't have that, you don't have structure, or like even right now, right? If you were to, you would need to see, you would have to use that as a stop loss. But imagine it does bounce, right? Like off of this, which I have another target here, basically at $600.60. If you were to take it here, right, you'd be right in front of a target. So it's best to try to be patient. Yes, I'm still holding IWM. Yeah, I expect for IWM to, we're at a floor right now, but the next target is 257.41. You know, there's some juice in there too as well. So oh, it's only 15 seconds on slow mode. Quit crying. Yeah, 125% on IWM. So I yes, definitely trim, definitely be securing profit on anything that's shorter expiration, obviously higher time frame. The purpose of me grabbing shorter expirations underneath it is so that I can pay for the trade, reduce my risk, and then let my higher or longer expiration contracts go to their target. But I am well aware that all of what's happening right now is empty space and it is heading to higher time frame floors. So we're watching. Hey, buddy, some Asian guy is talking shit right now. That's fine. Oh, you talking about that guy from last night? That's fine. He can do what he wants. He tried. Up there on the side. I love a good red candlestick in the morning. All right, this is the 50% mark inside of this range. We just tapped it. So obviously if we make that next low, that's 601. Remember that 601 target all the way across the board. I got a butt. Sure. Skirt. Yeah, somebody said I was Korean, dude. Let's go. I have to work on trusting myself more. I trimmed out every dollar and could have held longer. Yes, that it. Listen, I be patient with yourself, Miss Patterson, because straight up, that is something that we learn to do. Bro's got a 70s vibe. I kind of dig it. I'm with it. Does white matter? Does what matter? $259.19 on IWM, guys. Oh my god, dude. My toes are curling right now, baby. Zanny at once. Apparently I did have two IWM. Yeah, we did it, remember? I thought you were talking about that with me. Oui, oui. Oui, oui. All right, so if you, again, this is the major area. So shorter expirations, money has been taken, right? And now we watch, because this is where the business is likely going to happen. Any sort of reversal is likely to happen above 601.50. And there is empty space up above you into the 602s. So any retest today, what we're looking for, obviously, if we get what we'd like here, is we would like to see a drop down below this $600.60 and $600.40. We'd like to see price drive down there. So if, like me, I have one option, I gotta admit, I'm anxious to sell. Of course, that is one of the problems with taking small positions. Now, when you're learning 1 to 2 contracts, and you can learn to trust your system, but when you have the ability to size up, especially on low risk contracts, remember, it's so interesting because there's a numbers game because people will buy $1, $2, or $300 contract, but won't buy $10, $15 contracts or 30 or 50. When in reality, right, you're still, you can actually, you're leveraging your money better. So, I mean, damn, all right, Qs can't fucking bounce, dude. Oh my God. Oh, my 588s are starting to cook. Not me just learning how to like the live. That's too funny. All right, that first level responded. That's $600, 40 cents, 50 cents. So could we not? Oh my God. All right, the only structure that I have in front of us in the most recent price action is here, and we just dipped directly into it. $600 psychological right here. I might have to hedge myself right here, depending on how we respond to this huge psychological number. Where would we not want to reverse? We wouldn't want to go back up above that candle at $600.50. If we did, we would have just as easy of time to bounce and move back up. 601 would be the first target. Second target would be 601.50. So let's watch this as it moves into this small structure and watch how price responds to that level. QQQ cooked everybody on calls. You're damn right it did. Right now it's marinating me in dollar bills. Is this not considered dropping too fast? Zeke, thank you for asking that question. So when we're ripping to the upside, right? How do we hang on to a unsustainable price run, right? What do we need to do? What do you need to do when you take a big leap forward when you're rock climbing to keep you from falling back down? You need to grab onto something. So what have we been doing every single time that we rip empty space into structure? We grab. So what's happening right now? Our fingers are getting right onto the edge of that 599.78, right? Now I got to zoom out because we're getting into the thick of it, baby. These 588s better pay me, baby. All right, so right now we're looking at that level right now at 599.25, which we may have already bounced at. No. So all weekly profits, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of them now. I'll leave 2 runners on those, and then I've got those 588s and 597 or 590. Yeah, 598. Sorry for the 27th. All right, back down to the lower time frame because we don't have a ton of structure where we're at. Okay, we can already see that basically any candle flipping up there, and you'll go back up to retest that $600.87. APP call. I think that one didn't have its trigger yet, my boy. That one still needed a 437.83 trigger to fire off 440.75.
Don't look at her.
What's up, JJJ? Okay. No response so far, guys. Anakin, come here, dude. Come here. Show everybody your chain, dude. I'm liking it, guys. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. We're not showing up. We still got this 599.27. That's big. This might be the first green candle we see. There it is. Flip. Again, no green until 600 is recovered. Okay.
He's still in the apple because the thing is dumping.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's about to fire off one of my triggers here. Sit back. Watch. I am on YouTube Live right now. If you're new here, go to my YouTube channel. You need to start learning this strategy ASAP. Potterbox strategy educational playlist on Potter Stocks trading on YouTube. See, I could go down right here. I bet you to the 30-second, and I bet you this is probably clean as candy, dude. Okay, beautiful. Yeah. That right there is like a microscopic little pack of volume right there. So by punching through this, right, it would likely achieve that. What's the squiggle? What I expect price to do if it expands over that $600 mark? Pretty easy peasy right there. Right now I'm short. I'm a little teapot. I have not touched a single contract on the 588s though. So that is because, again, I'm taking profit on shorter expiration contracts, and I'm looking. Again, talk to me when we're here at 285. Especially with the position that we took and the average that we have, I got to be sure that a reversal is likely to occur. So, like, the stop loss on those bad boys is probably going to be right around 601, 602, or 601.85. Why wouldn't you fill me? Pause. Don't clip that. Right now, I'm looking at whether or not we're going to experience a reversal. Paying attention to that. Look at the 50% mark on that range right there. You already see price being pulled back underneath. You got empty space. So that green line right here, and this, I was just going to say, that median, right, that 50% mark here are two areas that buyers could step back up and push price up like that. And in order for you to go back up, right, you're going to have to get back up. Everything is always the same. Look, see where you just wicked off of? Same area that sellers control the price. So no good on that reversal. Not yet. Yeah, I'm still on the downside. Yes. Although this is the 30-minute or 30-second, so we could be creating a higher time frame range or lower time frame range, excuse me. And every single time you do that, that is a test of where volume is at, right? So we don't have enough to get over these levels right now. You might come and touch the floor, or we might have to go make a new low. And so guess what this just turned into? That. Lower time frame, everything's moving faster. And this is good to watch for those of you guys who are new. It's probably going to be confusing, but you're not trading the 30-second, but everything that I teach you is going to stay true on the 30-second. Okay, that bounce did not amount to anything. You were not able to grab that 599.50 on that bounce. So we either sit on this floor one more time and try again, or you dump.
How are your IWMs moving? They seem like they're not. The contracts are kind of slow.
They're a little slow to yeah, I think that's because they're a little bit more. I mean, I'm up 165%, but I'm in February 25th for those ones. So, all right, floor is holding. So we weren't able to get a candle close. Floor is holding, so sellers don't have it either, and we test the floor again. Right here at 599.50. We are now officially in a box. We've got two off of the top, two off of the bottom, which does create zip hotter box. Same thing's true over here though, right? We still need to move over that range and over 599.85. We're looking at that green candle over here to our left. Do I see? Make sure I don't have anything over here. $600.40. All right. So we just sit and we wait right now. We just sit and we waiting. Inside of a box, right? You're only waiting to respond. Sing it, Cole. Those in schools. Got the tools. The skin. Showing the pen. And to write out these sins. It's too fucking slow. You know, hard earned bread. I don't want to know. 599.50 right there. You'll click up and we'll likely go and hit that high again. So over that 599.55, watch this top here. You'll have to recover this floor too. Damn, I did right before I could fucking wick it. There we go. So you'll have to still reclaim that floor, right? And that's what's going to make it difficult to hold that high over 599.50. I'm actually the principal's principal. That's right. Now I have a super principal in my life. I've never been more scared in my life. I was kidding. All right, so what you just saw there so far is just pure failure. Every single time we've been given an opportunity, we failed. Now we just bounced right off of the wick, so we might be shifting down here, but that level still remains. So we'll bring it down. I might have been off just a hair. I don't know. Sellers seem like they got the ball right now. That right there's every single level that they you want buyers to step up at. Sellers are pushing back, which what does that create, guys? If sellers can't do their job, we will fire the fuck up because you're going to take their short energy and you're going to turn it into long energy. Oh, did you mentor that rusty rod? Yeah, but I didn't obviously finish with the mentoring, and I went on vacation. He took a shortcut.
Does that make you Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Maybe. Possibly. Yeah, kind of, right? I wouldn't say he has like that Anakin energy though, you know what I mean? That's 1, 2, 3 off the bottom. Watch sellers get smoked if we curl that 599.67. So what you're doing, listen, to seller's advantage, you're pulling volume off of this floor, right? You're pulling volume off this floor. So if sellers do win, the next time we head down, the higher probability is that we keep moving down. But right now they've got their backs up against the wall and they're about to get their asses smoked if they do not step up right here at 599.85, which would lead to that $600 mark, which will lead to that big push back up to $600. Rusty says he hasn't had a loss in over 2 years. Get the fuck out of here. The shit that people say is fucking redonkulous. You see how fast that happened? Do you guys see how fast? Why is that happening fast? Why is price pushing so hard? Because that's what happens when you get somebody fired. That's what happens when somebody doesn't do their job. Shit gets out of control. And because sellers are likely exiting their position, that means they're buying back. And when they buy back, that allows price to move over. Now, what's $600 doing right now? It's trying to hold you back. So if you don't have enough, you'll tap here, but most likely we'll go up and we'll fill up that 50 empty space. We'll tap right here at $600.34, I believe. Immediately ran out of gas. This is a potential reversal, yes. There it is. They need a little second. So if you're hedging yourself, right? Ugh. Makes life a lot easier. This is the best learning opportunity, right? Now, how we're able to close it. Look at the fight. Do you see how it just kind of wicked down a little bit? But it's nothing really to stop you here except for that imbalance, which is not a lot of volume. Look how explosive it is. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. You wick down, grab orders. Ugh. Ugh. Disgusting. Disgusting. So yeah. And right now, if I'm short, right, on a longer expiration, bam, done. Bam. Right off the first green candle to your gat dog left. But yes, this is where I use the lower time frame to hedge myself, which gives me the cushion to be able to get out of my trades if I'm higher time frame incorrect. But remember, I'm on the 30-second. This is only 1, 2, 3-minute candles that I'm walking you through right now. We also have to look at, again, floors that need to be recovered, which we've recovered 2 of them. And then from here, man, we could really start picking up speed. But it's really gonna, yeah. So let's zoom back out again. Here, see that? All floors. Perfect. So that is the largest box, even though it's not very big, it is the largest box that you have in front of you. You tap the floor, right? And we immediately see a response. At this point, we have the ability to gauge where volume is at and say, well, what is above and what is below? What do we need to hold, right? And that's typically always going to be that green candle here. You might have like a wick or something like that, but if not, then you'll have to find something else that, right? And that's, we can't see that on the 30-second. I'm sure if I went here, I can now see this box, right? And I'm not ever trading on these lower time frames usually, unless price is moving quickly, right? Or I'm trying to problem solve at a major 24-hour level. So if we lose this floor here, you'll go back to that imbalance that we tracked right here at 600. But so far, buyers are pulling the volume right off of that $600.50. They're going to try to push this up to go touch that $600.80. Creating boxes as you go is what confuses me. So talk to me. How can I help you understand what I'm doing here? Did you see that? Did you see the imbalance? See it? Pause just for a moment. Pause. So now you're going to go back down and retest probably this wick. Yep. And it's all empty space now. There's no structure, so all these little tiny things matter. Man, I'm fucking... Yeah, when I'm playing bounces back up, that's typically where I'm scalping or day trading. Look at that imbalance. Ugh. Or, yeah, the $600.25 mark. And usually when you're trending up, even if it is on a lower time frame, if you're going to keep moving, you're going to build a box before you, or as you hit a resistance, and that box will allow for you to utilize the volume within it to push into that structure up above, because the box contains the volume. So all
you
I'm
said
doing...
something about Tesla earlier, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I'm watching it right now. I got it on my top screen. That, and for some reason, snow. No, that was not grabbing. You did try to grab the floor, but you weren't able to grab onto what was above it. And if you look at what's happening right now, that floor is your 50% mark in that range up above. And now what you're struggling to reclaim. And what you're doing as well is also pulling volume from underneath you to try to get that done. And if you can't, you're going to exhaust the volume, the buying volume underneath you, and then price can fall a little bit easier. And there's that floor. Look at it right there. Tap, and then the 50% mark if you can push higher, which is 601. How do I know whether it's going to go back down or up? Based on what is lost or what is reclaimed. So the structure that's around you right now, being inside of this area, you're going to get that sort of price action because there's a lot of empty space or lack of structure around you. So you're literally building that structure. Now, in order for me to see a reversal, how do I know whether it's going back up? Sellers are losing. They're being pushed out of the way. Sellers have a job to do. In this box right here, that 50% mark where we saw multiple rejections and that drive down for the third time, that shows that sellers are in control. So when buyers step up and cross their average or push them out of the way, and their average is represented typically by candle closes inside of this box. And that's happening at the 50% mark. So by crossing that 50% mark and then pushing over $590 or $600, which is also simultaneously a psychological number with little to no resistance up above you, I know that we're going up because these guys are stopping price from moving up. By the way, if I was making cost basis up, shit like that would not happen. That is cost basis. That is the 50% mark of every box, even on the 30-second to the weekly. Salty Lobby, if you suck at trading, man, just say that. Or if you've been scammed or yeah, dude, that's on you, brother. But I get why you might clump all of us together, but fuck all of these people, most of them who are online. I obviously, most of you guys know that I'm not a big fan of anybody. So that right there was cost basis. Price pulls back, touches the floor, right? And we just expand up, and it's always going to be that first green candle to your left. Everything that I'm teaching you right now happens on a higher time frame. It's just not happening as fast. And this is a great place to train. So can we not get this floor? Then you'll have to come back to the volume you left behind. Seems like we got it though. And the more that you do this, the more that you push price up in the face of sellers, the more that snowball can happen, right? That snowball is you get a large exit or you get sellers getting out of their positions. They buy back. That triggers other people. Buyers just step up, right? Or buyers see that green candle, they respond, and it starts a snowball effect. All right, so let's zoom out really quick since we've been on the lower time frame this whole time. Right? And we're going to look over to our left because everything that I'm teaching you down there is all just adding up to finding this. What did you lose, right, to get here? 601.50. So what do we need to reclaim and what did we just try for? 601.50. So continuation to the upside lies beyond 601.50. The first target beyond that, I'm going to give myself a imbalance. See, I don't like those weird candles right there. But the first target should be at that 602 mark. $601.75 and 602. The only part that works is momentum. Listen, dude, if you listen, I get it. Salty Lobby. I was scammed. I bought courses with basic fucking information, with basic technical analysis. I get it. And I have the same attitude as you do when I scroll across TikTok. But I'm not them. I'm not. And I have proof. And I do not offer signals. I am sharing my strategy so you can see for yourself. So, again, if you follow me or not, I'm here just offering my vision.
Hey, Potter. Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. What's up, brother?
Can you also explain the same thing on SPY
Sure.
you did on Qs?
Yeah, so nice wick off of that 689.81. All right, let me switch screens here real quick. So TikTok, if you want to see what I'm doing on the Qs here, I'll be mapping this one out. So watch that right there on the 1 minute. I'm going to go back to the 1 here. And again, I'm not usually here, guys. I'm not usually on this time frame. Now watch this, the same floor that you had to break to get here. I'm going to go back to the 30-second actually. So whenever you're looking at whether or not the move that you're seeing is a potential reversal, you're going to say what is above and what is below. The structure that you build or break is going to be the same structure that you bounce off of. So it's okay to see a rejection or to see sell orders get filled when a major resistance is hit. But when do you see that? You go and you get the volume that you need. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can literally go, I have my bachelor's in finance going for my master's. That has nothing to do with that. Literally, dude, that has nothing to do with what I do. Getting your bachelor's in finance has, like, what does that have to do with any of this? And absolutely analysis and technical analysis is used even at the top. You have a completely different job. But anyway, I mean, again, I could care less whether you watch me or not, man. I'm here whether you want to watch me or not. So, and I'm gonna keep doing this shit because I'm good as fuck at it. Cost basis or 50% mark here at 602 is, there it is. Beautiful, 50% mark. Now, if you do not have enough volume, this is your floor, right? What is above, what is below? I'm going to zoom out to the 15 here. And this is, again, moving back out to the 5-minute. That's 602. Is that not what we just discussed on the cues? Perfect. The response to that obviously is pretty heavy. So we're going to go back down here to the 15 or 30-second. Nasty. 601, same structure that caught you before. You just got caught again. You fell really, really quickly, which can be unsustainable if price doesn't have continuation behind it. So watch for a potential bounce back up to retest right here at 601.62. You hear me? Mic check? Oh. I can't listen, I can't PayPal's got news. PayPal's got news. Chase it if you want to. Fuck. Yeah, that's too I guess that PayPal short ain't gonna happen. Yeah. Yeah, PayPal, I don't know what the news is on that one. All right, there it is. So you see that 601.62 retest? That empty space has now been filled. And the question remains, are we going to, is this where we find, because this is that 602, right? We just wicked off of 601.96. Shoot me, I was 4 cents off. So now we have tested really quick, and I'll get to SPY. I'm sorry, I'm trying to. So now that we've tested 2 levels that need to be reclaimed, right? If we fall, we're going to look at the same level here on the 5-minute. And if we do lose that, we're subject to stay or build inside of this range. But to go for the left green candidate. Yes. Yeah. I'm not sure what happened on Tesla, man. I haven't been able to really watch anything other than what I've got money in the ETF. So yeah, honestly, with the gap up above, we haven't lost enough yet to call it short, but just caught 5,000% on PayPal. Yo, post that in the chat, Margaret. That one had an equal opportunity setup. I ain't gonna lie to you. But you know what? Once again, what's in front of you going into the news? Nothing. Nothing. So I don't know what the news exactly is, but the target could be 50-50. However, I would chop that up, and I would look at 46.30 as the first target here.
Rumors of a larger rival buying them out.
So I'm just going to say this. Looking at the 24-hour, which we have a lot of time, okay? Looking at the 24-hour, if you close in these wicks red, right, the bias would lean more short because this is an area where stocks have been picked up and pulled back up, right? And it's obviously only 11:35, so we're not doing that. But just as a way to like kind of look forward, that's where we would be looking for continuation to the downside. Still extracting more volume off of that median. So I mean, this is, yeah. And look at this right here on the 1 hour. So there's definitely more up there. 603.70. This is good stuff. I've trimmed out of IWM, but I still have a position on it. This is going to be a tough level to lose at 258.57. You have a massive floor here, box. I really am looking at the retest level of 2, which you actually have already hit. So I'll show you that one really quick. So look over here to your left. See that green candle right here to your left? That's what it's going to try to flip price action over. Now on the 5-minute, 3-minute, and look. See that green candle right here? Even though it's ridiculously small, it is still a 50% or a floor. So you're seeing price trying to hold that. You told me short. Sensei, you told me short on PayPal. Didn't you? I could have sworn you said short, dude. It's on YouTube. But I mean, if you had a straddle or something like that, fuck yeah. All right, let's look at SPY. I hedged because you weren't convinced it's short yet. That's fuck yeah. I'm glad you did that. So, I mean, honestly, SPY is just a same thing as the Qs here, right? Price moving down, you still stop basically at that cost basis. We dip a little bit lower. Again, higher time frame candle closes on higher time frame boxes. And at the moment, it's actually kind of interesting because even though you have reclaimed the floor, which is again huge, which is temporarily at least short term bullish. That is what is going to need to be lost in order for you to see any sort of continuation down on the 5-minute. That's going to be 682. But yes, there is a target above you at 583.46. This one looks like it shot up, tapped that high, just like we talked about yesterday, actually, or maybe even this morning, and then punched down through its structure, lost its floor, and filled up all of that empty space. Same thing. #1 trader on TikTok, no doubt. They got to stop shadow banning me. You know what though? I really think that's kind of dope. I like being I'm like in the back alleys of TikTok. You know what I mean? With a long trench coat with a bunch of cheap option contracts. I'm not sure what I'm wearing underneath the trench coat, but I'm going to open it and I'm going to show you my cheap contracts. Something like that. I always think of the Office episode where the streaker comes. It makes me have to. Yeah, listen, as long as I say negative things about that certain country that's in a certain place, um, and I'm critical of our government, it's going to keep doing that. I'm trying to keep my mouth shut about it on this profile, which I've done a decent job. But, it is what it is. All right, back down to lower time frame here. IWM week. That's close. That's close. You need code words. Something like that. Circle. Circle's not going to be. It does have an opportunity to take it up to. You said 62. I mean that. Okay, so you got to be on the lower time frame if you're looking at $62 strikes, right? You do not have any empty space. Your gap nearly has been filled already. seeing a lot of weakness where we should see strength on IWM and Qs. Goy slap trading, yeah. All right. I'm going to be honest with you. This one is not anywhere near being bullish until step one is $62 flat and 62.45. If you can get a green 30-minute candle close there, I mean, there's a bigger, potentially a bigger move up to 65.75. So indices pros for a flush. I certainly fucking hope so, my boy. I certainly hope so. I mean, I think, if you've been watching me now for any extended amount of time, I'm short. My bias is short on the Qs, especially as long as we're underneath 610.50, which has been the floor. It's been what we needed. It's why we didn't trade in this range. It's why we took it short underneath it. It's, why we had that as a target to the upside. When we took that short or that scalp up to the upside last week. Yeah, congrats on PayPal, guys. I did not get that one, but that empty space again, it made it a good watch list. That thing moved like what's so funny is Lulu moves like that all the time. You said anything under 627 is bearish to me. Yeah, 610 and I have 610 and 617. These two levels in particular are the sell walls. And then again, I'm looking at this on the weekly, and I'm looking at what just happened as a retest of a higher time frame box. Toothless, stop it. Listen, I would show you my cat, dude. I tried to groom my cat, like give him a haircut. Not good. Not good. I don't want anybody to ever see my cat now. Like he tried to like rub his face against me because I guess it felt good on his neck, and I clipped half of his whiskers off, so he looks like a miscreant, dude. But anyway, I think that possibly what we saw last week was a retest of this higher time frame structure on the weekly. And yes, and this is why today was and is and tomorrow are so important, because if 598 is lost on the weekly, right? This floor right here at 594, we would be able to take an honest stab at it, which would give us a beautiful target of 588. And because of the contract's expiration that I have, I would be looking for two targets at 580 and 570, 670, and I have a good position for that. So you're the only trader I found on TikTok that isn't a complete degenerate. Who else can I follow? Yeah, I'd actually love to give you some recommendation. If you follow anybody else but me, the Trading Initiative. Now, his Discord is a lot more difficult to get into because I think you have to have at least $10,000 in capital, and he is like, he's one of those individuals. And he's kind of told me maybe I should do the same thing, but I mean, he's like hands-on. Like, he will yell at people for day trading. He doesn't want to see it. If you have an account, you better hide your day trades from him in some other account, because he will be on your ass. And some people need that. I've actually sent dozens of traders to him because they do not have they have too much anxiety and stress around day trading. And as far as making money, like that's why I get so frustrated with people who say like the stock market's a scam. It's like they'll try one style of trading with one strategy and then quit. But like, there's still money to be made on he makes more. I mean, he's the only other person that I know that's rivaling the percentages that we make. And we have, crazy percentages like that one. 913%, dude. That's nuts, dude. A $37 contract paid out that much. That was a great play. Potter for the win. I took IW bits, didn't take the box, but I'm still learning and it worked. Fuck yeah, let's go. Yo, little stewing down $2,000 for the month up after 3K. Just lost $500 on that reversal. Brother, you need to slow down. You need to de-risk, and you need to focus on low risk, high reward opportunities. Yeah. My highest percentage is 40,000. It was like 41,000 or 40,000% on ANF. They were only runners that I had on a trade. So, I mean, it wasn't huge, but IWM is bending back over. But again, we are only establishing a range. If we cannot break that floor, I'll show you really quick on TikTok here. Oh my God. My finger has a Band-Aid on it, so it's hard to type. So right there, watch this floor here. We're going to gauge. 80 to 90% of market market movement is in after hours trading. 80 to 90% of overall. Now in range, you're going to see most of the moves made intraday because there's so much structure that after hours money does not move price. But when that structure is broken and you're in a trending market, I mean, it's regardless, but it's 80 to 90% of market movement is after hours. And you wonder, you put that against the day trading percentage of people who win, and it's like, Then you put that up against the percentage of people who still use the daily time frame, ignoring all after, or ignoring a literal whole half of a market. And then you add, okay, well, that fucking makes sense. You have a lot of hats and shirts for merch. Can you make boxers and call them Potter boxers? Yeah. Yeah, I can.
Kind of fire, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of fire. Yeah. Yeah. I don't like how fast you fell to that floor on the IWM setup here, so we might be seeing a bounce here. This is 2 times off the bottom. If it does go green, if it flips over 259, the probability of you going to 259.45 is high. Any sort of reversals happening on IWM today are going to be through these 2 stacked structures. It's probably best. Oh, no, we don't want that. 1 minute. So again, just to, and actually the 1 minute setup is pretty clear as well, but look here and here. These are our bearish bodyguards. That's a good thing. Yeah, I actually like that a lot. Straight up, those are our bearish bodyguards. And actually, I fucked up. Hold on. That's the floor. So already you can, this is where I get heated, boy. Right? If I can find a floor, I can find a fucking reversal. Right? Now I would actually say that we could just focus here because if we break through 259.16, there's that green, right? It's right up into that floor that you would likely retest, right? But it would be through that structure. And then check this out. The top of that box is also that overhead wall. And simultaneously, the cost basis or the 50% mark, it all goes together. So over 259.30, the probability of you going and testing that 259.60 increases. If you lose the floor on your Potter boxes, you could be in for some volatility. That's right. That's right. Might see a Wix. Nah, never mind. It's fucking Ramadan. Gotta chill out. YouTube? What's wrong with YouTube? I'm not Korean. No. No. Just saw that comment. No, I'm not. Yeah, my full screen is on YouTube. Oh, it's custom. Rope and seed. I heeded that. What's my wife's TikTok for fashion? It's a Poshland. Poshland. She's I mean, straight up, I should show you guys what she's making though. It's fucking crazy. I do have some calls on the queues, yes. Yeah, of course. All right, watch this 1 minute setup on the queues, which is a whole hell of a lot cleaner than the IWM one. You got a perfect box right here. It looks like you're trying to stab at that floor cost basis overhead. You do have this range, and again, that's all it is a range with a perfect wick off of that 601. It is on a lower time frame a little bit better, but or a little bit more structural, but that is where, and again, boxes rule everything around me. Look at that. What is above and what is below? So we're going to need to punch through 601. The potential here, right, is of course that if we do move beyond that 602, which is that 24-hour level that we can see on both the lower and the higher time frames, you would be looking up towards 602.75 and 602.50. Both of those two levels will be the potential targets beyond that. So yeah, it's pretty. Yeah. How do you join the Discord? Through my website. But please, if you are brand new, make sure to take your time. Do not rush into buying something. Just like I wouldn't want you to chase a candlestick, I want you to make sure that you feel good about what I'm teaching you here, which you can start to understand some of the simple concepts that I'm trying to put across here. But what you guys are hearing right now, or what I've been doing all morning, narrating this market, the goal, I'm narrating for myself. But by doing this, I've had a lot of people have light bulb moments because everything I teach you is true all the way up and all the way down. This is, the weekly time frame all the way to and I'll show you that, right? So like right now, take a look at this 1 minute, right? Box, floor, resistance, the potential punchback, the empty space. And that's not necessarily true on the, oh, I don't know why I did that. Now look at the weekly, right? It's the same thing, right? If I was looking at the cues over 620 or 619, right? Or upon the recovery of 610, that's where I would be looking, right? At a potential reversal and break back up, which would also, which again, I'm not blind to this. 1, 2, and that would be 3. This would be 1, that'd be 2, and that could set us up for that third run up and out. Now, is that happening right now? No. Are we in range on the weekly in between both what we need to lose and what we need to gain? Also, yes, which is why price action is so whippy and wild. Makes total sense, though. Oh, my bad, TikTok. So everything that I do, like if I'm looking at the 5 minute or the 3 minute, and I've spotted it, like taking this back up to hedge my longer expiration contracts. I'm looking at the lower time frames because I'm trying to take advantage of those opportunities that could lead to reversals. So what I'm doing is not only just hedging, but I'm just trading the opposite way with lower risk. So that way, if a reversal does occur, if I do end up getting out of the trade, because listen to this, my stop losses are situated on signals to the upside. This is why I emphasize having your stop losses and entries around structure or around a signal or around a break of tension, because when price comes back down or when price goes back up, right, and that trigger fires, to get out of that downside trade or whatever opposite trade that's happening, and you can hold on to those hedges as an actual play to the upside. Where is the other blue shoe? You know what? Just for you. I'm going to get it. There you go. All right. I walked away from the camera and someone said Giat. I'm about to head out. We're about to go ahead and shut it down for the day. How did they notice that? Attention to detail. This guy might actually have a future as a trader right there. And everything is right with the again. Oh my god. I don't know who you are, but I think I love you. Holy shit, that's hilarious. That's my kind of humor right there, baby. Yeah, bro said gyat. And then somebody yesterday said, I went to go pick up my cat, and they're like, I got a screenshot of you bending over. I'm like, God, Sibo. Bro. This jersey is on TikTok. Palestine, yeah, Palestinian jersey. Yeah. Let that cook, baby. Let that cook. The move is coming. How old are you? Too young to be married? How old did those of you guys who never watched me, how old do you think I am? Boost my ego for no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I got kids and everything. 13, 27, 28, 50. That's accurate. 24. I'm obviously 18. I'm I'm 38. No, I'm just kidding. I'm 33 years old. I was born May 18th, 92. Married. I got an 11-year-old and a 6-year-old. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not a Gemini, no. I was born in May. That's Taurus energy, I guess, right? Ask Ivy. She's got my whole birth chart done and everything. Like last year, I used to be like, man, I used to, maybe just wasn't feeling good headspace for the trading day or something like that, so I wouldn't show up. And she'd be like, "It's okay, chef." She's like, "You're like Pluto's crashing into Uranus or something like that," which I was not prepared for. So,
Call me Pluto. Sorry.
I've done both, but only option profits. No, I don't take loan out. I guess those. Why does she call me chef? Because I cook. Because I'm cooking, baby. Because Matic. Oh, I hate when I accidentally change the speed of how fast my mouse goes. There we go. Did you ever
What a
skate?
smackdown.
Yes, brother. Yes. Obviously, that's longboarding, but yes, I did. I skated for a long time. Ugh. Ugh. Searching these fucking. See if I look it up on his profile. Stop it. All right, so now we do have it. Look at it right there. So watch over that 601.35. Call on home. This is Denzel Curry, bro, walking. It's redonkulous. I love this song.
It's disgusting, dude. Ever since you played this, I listen to it every day.
Yeah, somebody was listening to music with me on my Spotify last night or yesterday. Because, like, if you look on TikTok and you, like, hover your mouse over live, or you look at, like, at the list of people, it'll, like, tell you, like, if they're listening to Spotify or something. Somebody was listening. I don't know who they were. Or maybe nervous.
Denzel's Tiny Desk is actually my favorite one.
I love Tiny Desk. You know, there's a Tiny Desk by Sylvan Esso that was really good. I've been watching Tiny Desk forever. I love them. I just gotta keep walking. Ugh, no stopping. Oh shit, we hit 1,600 or 16,400 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you guys. It's the 1 minute time frame. We're not. I'm just watching right now. We hit a large expansion in price, and now we're the queues are a little weepy, a little sleepy. It's all forgotten.
On the 5 minutes, a pretty big rejection wave, though, yeah.
But it doesn't lose anything, right? That's the point. Is like if you sure there's a rejection, but if it just leads you to a floor where you bounce again, then you know. Now where this bounces, right? That matters. So if the rejection drives you down and you're unable to bounce back up above anything that matters, then yeah, that could be a follow through rejection. So. And I think if we do punch down here, you would likely be looking at a retest here. I wonder if this is going to be a wide fluctuation in price that'll trap us in here all day. But let me see if I can find it. I mean, this is purely speculative. Actually, it's going to start right here. I don't know if I like that. We'll see how much validity that has. Yo, what the fuck is this? Dude, what is this person talking to my live right now? Ugh. Another scam page.
Bullion.
Oh.
Now, when they go low, we must go high.
Yeah. We must be better. Sorry.
Gotta bring back bullying sometimes.
Sometimes bullying is good. But not if it's hateful. I mean, if you hate a person for scamming you, you should bully them. But don't listen to me. There you go. That's the only, that's like, I don't have a lot of pictures of me skateboarding, but that was one. I was fucking 15? I was 15 in that picture. I do have another one, but I cannot show you it because I am bald. Because I just had my head shaved, and I was skating in house slippers down a 4-stair, and I look like I participate in sketchy activities. I wasn't, but I look like it. When is bullying never hateful? I think when that person's behavior is hateful. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I guess in some settings, like just from a personal perspective, I tried when I was, when I was in middle school, like I would try to be funny. When I made a girl laugh, it ruined my life. Like I thought at that point I was trying to just be funny all the time. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it was like people where like I would push, like the boundaries of like what was funny anymore. And it was like people would kind of bully me because of it. And it was like, okay, well now maybe that wasn't the best way to do it. I'm sure somebody pulling me aside and being like, your shit's not funny, bro, probably would have done the trick. But the bullying kind of woke me up a little bit. So my kids bully me, yeah, for sure. I've taught my kids how to, because my son has a problems with bullying for who he is, and that I have a problem with. You know what I mean? But if you're doing something that's socially disruptive, you know what I mean? Like maybe there's some use of it, but defensive bullying. There you go. Like I'll admit I bully other traders, or I don't even want to call them traders, but I'm not super nice to people who I know are taking from other people. They are when you're new, and this is something I've been in that same situation. It's like when you're new, you are vulnerable, right? And that's something that they take advantage of. And like one of the things that bothers me so much and why I don't want people to leave testimonials when they're learning my strategy is because when you're learning, you could be learning about bull flags and I could blow your mind and have you like stuck on it. But like the reality is it doesn't work. It's not a high probability setup or pattern that can be traded on a consistent basis expecting the same result. That's just not going to fly. Now, the prop firms, the trading by your bed, like I see what's happening there. I'm not stupid. And that's where I think that, yeah, I'll drop one comment and just watch them squirm because it's like, and I feel like you should be uncomfortable. You should, you should be uncomfortable. I just had a 670% return on PayPal. Good God. Nice job. How's that thing still doing? Oh, it started chopping on the one. Sheesh. I know it's probably maybe I'll regret it when I'm older. But we'll find it. We'll find out. And close my
Yeah, but you don't
mimosas.
like personally offend them. Like bullying is different than like calling them out or keeping accountability, which I think is the angle you're taking. Like you're not going this, describing what they're doing or how they look. You're just calling out the fact that you don't want people getting scammed.
Nah, I'm not gonna make too many excuses for myself. I mean, I'm trying to polish Jay Diamond's bald head. You know what I'm saying? That's a friendly little bald.
He's an exception.
Yeah. Alex does have beady little eyes. You know what I mean?
That's fair. I guess what you're saying to us in here, but like when you make your videos, you're not like
Yeah,
dragging
no,
them.
I'm not bullying. I mean, I don't even say that shit to them. You know what I mean? So listen, it's 12 o'clock now. I mean, everything is clear. All right, so respond accordingly. If this is an uptrend, expect maybe a little bit more. And it looks like maybe towards 12:30 we might again see resolve. And there is a fire little price target up there if we do end up reversing because buyers are putting together and this channel, whatever, ignore the fucking channel. It's structure first. So underneath you at $600.50, you have the possibility of wicking down. $600 would be the first target, and then that floor under you. I like your video, but I believe Peter is legit. He gives away 2K per day, Monday through Thursday. Sounds like a great marketing program. That's why I stopped. I did a giveaway one time, and the second time I did it, I was like, nobody from the outside, because I don't want people, listen, and maybe that's not what he's doing, but like, I'm not. The only reason I want you joining my Discord is because you think you like this strategy, or it's already working for you, or what I'm teaching you is making sense and it's translating to your account. I don't want you in here because I'm doing a giveaway or I'm doing a cash giveaway. I'm sure that would be sweet, And we've done it before. You know, shit. If Elf hits my target, dude, I'll give away. You know, all the ladies in here will get free makeup. But what did I build that box around on PayPal? Top bottom. 41.87 and 39. If you won $500, but are you making money? You know what I mean? Are you making money? Do you have a strategy that you trust? Do you feel well versed in it? Because that's again what matters the most.
Hey Potter,
Yo,
good
what's up, brother?
morning.
What's up, man?
So I'm not thinking of taking it, but Hims has earnings tonight. And the reason I'm not thinking of taking it is because all of the options are like highly,
Yeah.
the IV is like crazy, and it's like weeks out, right? It's all 100 plus
Yeah.
when I look at the IV. So,
Yeah.
but if we were to analyze this just from a, what to expect, what would you say?
What do I see happening on this one?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm just interested from a learning standpoint, like to
Okay.
know,
Yeah, I mean,
just to be aware of these kind of
I'll go.
earnings and
Yeah,
what
I'll go.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, first things first is, so I want to, and this is a good opportunity to teach you guys. When I am going into earnings, I want to see this same exact thing that would lead me into taking that trade regardless of earnings. Okay. So that's first. When I look at an earnings trade, I want empty space, I want structure, I want good price contracts. Nothing changes, right? The only difference is I'm expecting a bigger move because I know there's a catalyst. And so I'll pick targets that reduce my risk being target based, expecting that that whole move will be done and with shorter expiration contracts. Now, with that being said, here's where you're at. You're pushing off of 1950, which is a floor that you must and need to secure. You're sitting at cost basis. So, if anything, right, there's a possibility for this to be happening in the future, which would likely be, and I will say, you've got a company that's gotten the shit kicked out of it. They've got news. They have, you know, a lot of pressure to the downside. So any sort of positive or guidance or anything of that nature, yeah, it would be a 1932 target that you would be looking for first. And yes, because of the hole above you, you could be potentially looking up to 277.50. But now we go to the 24-hour, where it's not really much of a response off of cost basis, right? You do have on the 4-hour a pack of volume, and so above 1640, right? And we're going to do this analysis as if we're looking at this on a regular time frame or for a regular trade. So obviously we need to see 1645, and then it would be pretty important to clear 1740. Now, because this box is only, it's not even a box, it's a range, right? There's a big difference, folks, and this is a great opportunity to teach you. That's a box with 3 or more points of contact on both sides, and that's a range. A range is just where price either pulls down, bounces up, retest, and continues moving down. Everything is the same inside of this range as far as volume being at the 50% mark, but it does not guarantee a new high. So it only acts as if you get the floor, then you get cost basis. If you get cost basis, you get the ceiling. And it's only when the ceiling breaks that we can expect continuation. So with that being said, hold on. Keys are flipping here a little bit, or trying to. Okay. So lastly, and to finish this one up, how would I go about this? This isn't my kind of setup, right? I think the only thing that would positively affect this one is anything that contradicts the current sentiment that is bleeding on Hims. If anything reinforces that sell, right? Then you're already, I would say that there could even be a more of a downside bias because of the lack of response off a cost basis. But that also could be chalked up to the fact that people are waiting on that news. So you're neither giving a signal down or up. I do expect for this price to expand based on the fact that you have consolidated the way you have, but that's about it. And I don't really know if that we should be expecting a massive, massive move, but I would say right now 23.26 on the high end, 13.68, and this structure here to your left, which would be 13 flat. How can I learn to chart? Cordy, go to my YouTube channel for free, brother. Or whoever. I didn't mean to assume.
Hey, thanks, Potter.
Yeah, you're welcome. And if it seems like it's not clear, it's because it's not. You know what I mean? And again, for anybody watching, I do take earnings trades, but the earnings trades must have my setup, and they must be low risk, high reward. We've taken Nike on earnings multiple times, and this one, empty space, box, structure, rip. And I'm looking for things that are incoming. Really, I mean, the more consolidation going into earnings, the better, because it's awaiting. The tension is there, and now it just needs a catalyst. And there is sometimes that you could say that the trade could go both ways, right? So, I know I've used this example too much, but like we took this earnings trade here, but thankfully it gave us a signal to the upside, right? Oop. Hues are curling up here. I'm really looking right here. So if you're watching on the right side of my screen on YouTube or Discord, 601.33. Popping like it's Crisco fried chicken. I got a week on the IWM. What sectors do I mostly look at? Whatever has money rotating into it, man. I move with the markets. And I do not get attached to stocks. Stocks don't care about me, so I don't care about them. I'm there to take their fucking money and I'm there to leave. That's it. So I don't get, I obviously where the volatility lies, which is, a lot of the times in tech or consumers, that's where you'll find me quite a bit. Is it too late to get into PayPal? Wow, Qs suck. No, it's there's probably an opportunity. You're gonna have to be on point here. Yeah, because of the volatility, we're gonna look at this one on a little bit of a higher time frame here. So you need to set a stop loss, and the only stop loss I have for you right now is literally 44.70 or candle close 44.60. At this point in time, there's not much to go off of, so we're gonna look at the 30-second. There it is. 45.14 needs to clear for you to start moving to the upside. Are Darvas boxes similar, or Potter boxes similar to Darvas boxes? No. The concept and entry, exit, target, all of that is completely different. The system, Darvis again died broke, so he never really made any money in the stock market, and so his concepts, are incomplete. I don't think he finished his work. And if I don't. Uh, whatever. Mine is correct. No, on it. This is break time for me. In fact, I'm about to go eat some lunch while we. I mean, literally, my signal on the queues is above and below me. IWM is basically the same thing. If you look at this one on the 1 minute, I mean, again, this tension is set to break here relatively soon. But my signal is obviously here and here, which right now we're looking like we might end up trying to go and tap that again. Do you look at the 52 weekly and pick your stocks? Um, I just look at the. I don't have. You must be using Thinkorswim or something. Because I just look at the 24-hour and the weekly chart, and yeah, maybe. I honestly, 52 weeks is sometimes too much information. Because I'm looking at the most recent price action to pick my targets because that's really where price is going to focus, right? So for me right now on the Qs on a higher time frame, it's literally between here and here. And where have we been stuck now for 3 weeks straight? There. So I'm awaiting and right now we have some positions. We're playing a little bit some low risk positions. At least I am in this range because again, my biggest thing is I try not to trade in range, but because of the retest at 610 and the rejection and the speculative position that I took on the Qs over the weekend, this is of interest to me. You need to go to my YouTube channel if you want to. On March 1st, I have a Potterbox workshop, which is going to be teaching you from start to finish my strategy, brokerage, charting setups, platform, all that, options, um, channels, candlesticks, taking profit, entries, exits, empty space, all of it. I'm not Middle Eastern. Who the fuck said that? Yeah, I hope you guys are not over trading right now in this range. I hope you're not trying to lock. You just need to go to my website, potterstockstrading.com. But yeah, I'm not. I was offended by what? No, I'm not offended by that. No, I think it's just obvious I'm not. Nah, he said today's group P&L. He's put the whole group's P&L together. That's master marketing, Parker Prince. Full-time day trader, 23 years old. Busted ass chair. God damn. Anyway, close the app. All right, guys. If you're on TikTok or YouTube, I'm gonna retreat into the Discord until price starts moving here, which could be relatively soon, but it's lunchtime. Again, check out the website if you're looking for a class or anything else. Otherwise, go to the YouTube channel and go start with the educational playlist. On my website, there's a Discord icon at the top. You can click on that. That'll help you get into the Discord, into the free lobby, which is not the main Discord. So yeah, if you don't want to, my YouTube channel has everything. It's just obviously not in chronological order. Another rejection on the Qs, baby. Dude, Osmosis Jones followed me. Let's go, dude. I love that movie. So do you look at the top 50 movers from the past 24 hours? No, I'm looking for things that haven't moved dog paws. I'm looking for things that are, so let me give you an example, right? I look at higher time frames, and this is just a play that we took before. We took this trade on Celsius, which, you know, had a pretty clean lower time frame box that we were able to take it out of right here. And this was one that I took again, and all of my trades are virtually the same. I take my trades up to empty space until I see structure. In this case, multiple bounces off of 58. But I'm looking for a break over, and I'm really, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to buy contracts before other people see them. So coming out of consolidation and buying target-based contracts allows for me to get a really, really good price, but also lowers my risk. So when volume floods my contracts and IV pumps because the price is moving and you see it on your scanner, right? And that's the thing, is I'm actually relying in some ways on people who are looking at lagging scanners, who are looking for things that are moving. I'm looking for things before they move, which just gives me an edge. Because again, my strategy is pretty straightforward in how many times resistance can be hit before it fails, or how price moves through empty space. So that is my focus there. KDP is one that I've got my eyes on right now for the longer haul. It is obviously, we're still working through that structure that we spoke about this morning. I might be a little bit off on my range, but right now we're looking for a hold on that 2560, but we are looking for a 24-hour break or candle close outside of 20 or basically $30. And there is, again, so remember what I just showed you on Celsius, right? And then look at this. Same concept. For KDP, you probably need about 3 weeks. I don't expect it to take that long to do it, but due to its price action, which oftentimes can move like this, right? Lately, it's had more volatility after its earnings, so it's good to have some time underneath your belt. How do I figure that out? Based on how many resistances are in front of me. I have one still overhead at $30.17. I have an imbalance in between those two, and that would be right at 31. And then I have a target at 31.80. So 1, 2, 3 weeks. You can add a week to anything that if I say 3 weeks, you can take 4, right? It's still fine. And what it does, it just gives you more time. So, Goob Wop, good. Really well. All right. TikTok, YouTube, I'll see you guys a little bit. 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'll see you then. You can go watch the recap on anything that happened this morning on YouTube. Make sure to go subscribe. I'm out. Do I buy in the money? No, I don't.